off. We're on. We're on and
Oh, we're
off.
on.
We're
Right.
on. On, baby. Oh, boy. Okay, let me tell the chatter peoples that we're doing this. Here's the thing.
There's a couple things. Yeah.
Hey,
Mm,
Bleeping
yeah.
Computer did a write-up on the thing that you were talking about, the Windows 11 Cliff. Saw that.
They sure did. Yep.
They sure did. And I wonder if it has more info. No.
I don't know. It may. It had a it was slightly different, right?
Was it though? Let's see. Look, I even
Nah.
had it up. I had it pre-up so we could talk about this immediately because it's
Cool.
it's about the show. It was a thingy about the show on the 27th, which is after the day. No, the day before the show.
It's the day before. Yeah.
The the
Yeah.
let me see. It would have been Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, like 4 days after the show was recorded, but one day before the show
Right.
was released.
Right. Right. Yeah. It was
For
definitely after we recorded. I remember that.
Yeah. So everybody has to remember that we record in a time machine. So if
That's
we're usually 5ish days behind whatever
that's kind of
happens.
true. Yeah.
And then if you just catch the little bits on YouTube, then we're like a week and 5 days behind.
Right. Right.
Oh man, the archive thing. Like I'm glad that the archive. Okay,
Well, that
this is gonna.
keeps on giving. As far as news articles too.
Yeah, as the kids would say, it's giving.
Yeah.
What it's giving, I don't even know that they know, but it's giving.
Right. Right.
But this is gonna come out wrong. But I'm glad that the archive got hit again, like asterisk, because like
Okay.
our thing became more relevant when we posted it on
Oh
that
yeah.
following Monday, because they
Oh,
were
for
already
sure.
back up. Like the Wayback Machine was up, and most of the
They
services
were.
were up, but then they got smacked again. So
Hmm.
it made the video like more relevant after a week and a half after everything was, fixed but not fixed. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not glad that the archive exploded. I'm not.
No, no, nor am I. No, no, I am not
Oh,
either. But
man.
I'm kind of glad we waited on things a little bit, though.
I'm sorry, Matt. It's because I pull it back for the show. I got to let it breathe when I don't know why I don't do it during the show though. Maybe
Yeah, don't
it's that clean cut attitude I gotta have. You can't really tell I have long hair unless I'm like messing around over here.
he's all business
On
for the
on it.
show,
That's what
and
it
and
is,
then on
man.
these live streams, he just lets it all out.
Business
Yeah.
in the front, party in the back. I
Hmm.
do live in Texas. I mean,
Yeah,
it's a thing. It's a thing. Right next to my '67 Chevy.
it's okay, Matt. I mean, I feel what you're saying.
I
Um,
know. I know. I'm not
it's
doing
all
it
good.
on purpose. My daughter
I
asked
always
me to
let my
grow
hair
my
out
hair
though,
out.
so
And now I keep
yeah.
I give her crap because she's like, I think I need to trim, and I'm like, you trim it, I trim it, and then so she'll just, and that's what I did. Like she just like cut it up a little bit
Just
or
the very
whatever, and then
ends.
yeah, just
Yeah.
kind of brought it up just a little bit. So I brought it up just a little bit. Yeah, blame my daughter,
Listen,
Matt.
man,
I'm sorry.
if you got it, show it off. I mean, that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
I won't have it forever, man. It won't be shiny
Yeah, you
forever.
use it while you can.
That's it. So, this thing though. All right. So,
It goes. It talks about different machines than what I was bringing up, but
oh,
it
wait,
has
wait. What
well,
do
it
you
talks
mean?
about the
Because
Asus,
you were talking about Dells, right?
Dells. Yeah,
Okay, okay, okay.
same type of things though, right?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Exactly. What? The X415, X515K models
Mhm.
blue screen during an update. So wait.
Yeah,
So
that's
this
bad.
isn't that they're prevented from updating. This is that they explode on update.
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah. Look. Okay. So these were actually blessed. These were
Right.
ones
Those
that
were
were.
blessed. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The Microsoft allowed you to use your own hardware.
Hmm.
Um, and it broke, so they paused the update
They
on
did. Yeah,
those.
they pulled it back. Yeah.
Oh, so this is not quite what you were talking about, but
It's not quite, but it's very similar in a
it's
way. Like
in
Dell did not bless it. Dell was at least smart enough to say, "Hey, look, your machine could have problems."
right.
Mm.
Huh.
So it's similar but different. Yeah.
Right. Same, but different. Okay, so what is this voice meter app? So you might experience a blue screen with memory management when you open up the app after installing. What is voice meter?
I don't know what that is
That's not
either,
voice
but
meter. That's voice meter. What
yeah,
is
me
this?
either.
Who uses this? What is this? This is VB audio. Oh, so it's like a mixer board, software mixer board.
It looks cool.
So that explodes.
Nice.
Wow. Oh, it is. Oh yeah, look, it's for streams and stuff.
Oh, that makes sense.
Got it. That picture just looks weird because people don't sit that close together. Like their shoulders would be
They do not.
melding together. That just looks weird.
That
Come
is
on,
totally
voice
AI
meter.
generated.
Yeah. Come on, voice meter. Do better. Just just take pictures of your people.
This is something we take for granted in Linux because we can just do it.
Oh right. What do you mean? Because we have like pulse
We got
audio
like
stuff.
pulse audio, or the at least the mixer stuff, and like if you like now with Pipewire, you can bring in all
Yeah.
sorts of things, send audio all
True.
over the place, right? I mean,
True.
send it all the places, pull it in from other places, and
But is it this easy?
yeah, probably easier.
I've seen Cassandra and those other apps, and dude, it scares me every time. I'm like, dude, I don't even know where these connections. What is a what a now? I
Yeah,
mean,
so like the QPW graph stuff or Helvum or whatever, that type of stuff, you mean?
no, it's like when you're looking at. Oh, let me see. It's Jack
Oh
Cassandra,
yeah,
right?
like
Like,
right. Yeah, I mean,
okay, that's a lady named Cassandra. That's not what I want. Project Cassandra? No, that's a USDA. What? Okay, Linux. Let me put Linux in there.
that usually helps.
No, it's not Cassandra. What is the name of the app?
I'm not sure which one you're talking about.
It's like you. I swear you used it. It's where you have like the multi-jack things where you can plug this source into that output and that output into
Yeah,
this source and then
that's
feed it back through.
well,
Like
at least on Pipewire, that's QPW graph.
Q
That's the one I'm using. Yeah,
QPW graph. See, I would
QP,
never even be able to.
QPW graph. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like this. That's not confusing.
No, no, that's not confusing.
Dan, quit it. That's because you've used this forever.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay. I've never dove
No,
in.
but you don't even need to get that far into it. Like, I mean, obviously, like the mixer stuff's like built in,
Yeah.
and as far as adding effects and stuff, um, that's pretty easy. They've what is the rename on Pulse Effects? That's a thing. Easy Effects.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So if you stay within the realm of just of not getting too complicated, then it looks like that. This one.
Yeah, it does similar things, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Or you can tone up this, tone down that. But this is the kind of interface that I'm dealing with OBS.
Yeah.
And that's something
Yep.
I can understand because like when
Yep.
you click on something, you isolate it and you can see this
Right.
is the VU meter for that. So it's a little more self-explanatory. It doesn't scare me.
But the difference is it doesn't blue screen your machine.
Yeah. Well, yeah, yeah. See, migrating databases doesn't scare me. Those patch bays, those scare me.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Mm-mm.
That
Mm-mm.
just makes sense.
Speaking
Logical
of
sense.
migrating databases, we're gonna have to since you're now my admin, we're gonna
Mhm.
have to go into this whole building the website thing together on these live streams or
Okay.
something.
All righty. Yeah. No, that could be fun.
We're gonna learn CSS together, and then
Yeah.
Dan mentioned this SCSS. So there's this whole rabbit hole
Yeah, he
of
did. Yeah.
CSS, but like adding variables and programming essentially to CSS.
I'm
Where
not super familiar with that, but it
yeah,
sounds cool.
it's gonna be fun. There's a lot more to learn than there used to be. The last time I looked at this was around 2002, 2004, somewhere around there. It was about the time. Oh, so I was introduced to HTML the year before I was introduced to Slackware. And you can
Oh, okay.
see where that trajectory took me. I put all that other stuff away and was like, "Oh, Linux," and then
Yeah.
went down that path. And here we are.
All right. So here you're getting to the meat of the thing. I
Okay,
think. I feel
integrated
like.
cameras.
Nah, not the cameras. After that.
Oh God, I really, really, really hate these things. Safe
Yep.
exam browsers.
That's a doozy. But like, take a look at that next one.
Okay, easy anti-cheat required by Fortnite. Update may
Ah,
lead to crashes.
so many things.
Wow. See,
Right.
so I have
There's a biggie.
I have the educational version of Windows 11. I chose that because it's slower
Mhm.
rolling, and I never want to think about it. And you can defer updates for like stupidly absurd amounts of time.
Yeah,
But
and it's basically enterprise, but
right,
the education market.
exactly, it's a different E
So
word.
so it
So
takes a lot of those. What it does allow you to do though is take a lot of those ads and stuff, and just you don't even get them,
oh man, and
like the ads in the start menu and stuff.
I was actually this was one thing that I didn't realize that I was a beneficiary of.
Mhm.
Because I was like, guys, why are you saying Windows is so bad? I don't even understand. I'm not even
Yeah, it's
seeing the
because
stuff that
you're
you're saying.
using the right
What?
version. Yeah.
Yeah, I got the version that doesn't do that.
Mhm.
Which I mean, honestly, that's hilarious now. But whoops,
Right.
sorry for
And,
my
and and
2-year-old thoughts.
so not only does it allow you to delay things, it actually has an extended support like built
Yeah.
in a way.
Yep.
So it lets you get like another 6 months on top of the regular support
Well, and
automatically
you don't
without doing
really
anything.
you don't get really that much of a choice because I'm still
You
on
don't.
22H, the newest one, whichever the newest H one is for 22. I can't even get on 23 yet. So like all
Hmm.
of this stuff, I'm 2 years behind all this. I would need to
Mhm.
wipe and reinstall, which is not a bad thing. I probably should. It's been years. Um, but yeah, I don't get to mess with the latest, which is great, right? I mean, the
Stability
Linux
is important in the environment that you're talking about.
the Linux, well, it's Xbox OS to me. So yeah, kinda
Right.
actually. And what's funny about that is, turns out I dodged a bullet. I can't
Yeah,
even get screwed up by this
I
because
know,
I'm
right?
still on Windows 11 22H2 to play Fortnite. That's so hilarious to me. I'm sorry for anybody that's already upgraded to this. You didn't have to, but here you are, broken. 24H2. Uh, you had until when to get off of the 23? Let me see. Windows 11 23H2 looks like the most
Yeah,
recent.
you have until
Let's see.
2025.
Yeah, you had a year, so you didn't have to take the update.
You didn't, but time's ticking.
Right. Oh, look, here we go. 20. Here we go. End of life. 23H2. Yep, yep, yeah. So that dies at the same time.
Yep.
Oh, see, and here's 22H2. Here we go. So this is me. This is where I am. I guess the E stands for enterprise/education. So
Mhm.
I'm on this guy for a while. I don't even, let
Or
me
at
see.
least you can be. Yeah.
Does that, so does this mean I can get onto 23H2?
I'm sure you could force it.
It's not, it's
It
not
probably
in
should
Windows
show up as like
Update.
an optional,
It doesn't show up there.
oh,
I
okay.
checked today or yesterday. I checked recently. So it's not,
Hmm.
it's not
I don't know then.
an obvious option for me. There may be a toggle I need to go select or whatever. But it says it was
Listen,
released 12 months ago, so I should have it.
yeah.
Like
I
it,
try to use Windows as little as possible.
well, that's what
Not
I
gonna lie.
mean, right? Like it does, I don't care at all because I just use it to load up like Fortnite. Seriously, that's it. And I don't know any other game that I feel like playing when I'm not on Linux. Uh, so it doesn't matter to me. Like it keeps it takes care of itself. It forces a reboot eventually when I'm sleeping. So, but
Yeah, so
yeah,
Matt
man.
says Matt actually left you a post there. He says
Okay.
he'd be willing to host your website on their VPS,
Oh,
but you'd have to roll with WordPress, which is kind of the thing you're trying to get away with,
interesting.
um, at no cost, but yeah, just not a ton of files and bids.
Interesting, Matt. You're sucking me back in. Uh, oh man. That's an awesome offer though.
It is.
Let me sleep on that because honestly, uh, yeah, because so the thought process was to get to not necessarily get away from WordPress because I really don't care. I mean, like I said, my WordPress is in the same state as my Windows is in. I'm on an older version that they keep. I think they just backport security updates to. I hope. But I gave it to a hosting company so that I didn't have to think about it. Right, like they just updated it, and I just worried about the content on it. But I was like, well, what if I just hand rolled it? What and by
Yeah,
hand
what
rolling
else
it, I
is
mean
out
like,
there, right? Yeah.
yeah, what if I did everything, even the HTML, hand coded the RSS and everything, even maybe a little like a reading. You know how like the news sites have that like listen to this article, but it's always some terrible robot voice. Like I meant to actually voice it would be kind of cool. So it wouldn't be. It would definitely be. It would just be like a handful of images, like 1 to 5 small images, less than 50K each
Right.
per post, and some would have none. But then the other thing would be maybe like a 2 to 5 megabyte audio file. That would be it and that would be like the maximum on each post. That's the whole idea. Just because WordPress is getting weird press right now because Matt's stomping his feet about WP Engine's not paying me enough or whatever.
Yeah, and WP Engine's kind of fighting back too, and it's a little weird.
What he said, there was a quote. I didn't talk about it on the show, but there was a quote about like if WP Engine paid us a penny or something like that, it would be more than they've ever paid us or something. I forgot what it was, man. I wish I had the article handy. But that it just made me laugh a little bit because I'm like, there's no way you're not being way over the
Well, even
top
if you're not
with this.
monetarily getting compensated, we all know they're contributing other things like code and
I would
and
assume
adding
so.
to the ecosystem just in generally with like themes and stuff like that, add-ons, plugins, whatever.
Right. Yeah. I mean, right. Surely there's some kind of reciprocation there, but maybe not. Maybe
Yeah,
it's going to come out that WP Engine really was the bad actor here, and Matt Mullenweg just looked like he was an idiot.
I think both sides are wrong.
Maybe.
Usually, like most things, both sides are wrong.
We'll see. We'll see. No. Someone's definitely 100% right, and someone's definitely
Mhm.
100% wrong. This is the real world, Dan. It's black and white.
Yeah, that's why
It's
I
black
said
and
both
white.
sides are
It's the way.
wrong.
It's the way it works. Okay.
Yeah,
Things are black and white.
very.
Awesome, Matt. I will do that. Cause that. Oh man, that's a really good offer. That's awesome. Okay, I'm thinking about it. So yeah, so Fortnite explodes your machine on the new update. Fingerprint sensors. Oh no, my framework. Unresponsive. Oh, that would be bad, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, but
Intel's smart sound technology. How many machines have that? I bet a lot.
SST? Yeah. I mean, it's installed by default if you have an Intel anything in your machine.
Sure does.
Flag driver, that to that. You just update the driver. I mean, Microsoft has a WHQL updated, ready to go. Like, why don't they Okay, this is what bothers me.
Why don't they fix the snapshot? I don't know.
Right,
Yeah.
24. Why don't they integrate the driver update into 24H2?
Wouldn't that make sense? Aren't these supposed to be like your feature roll-ups and your driver roll-ups
Yeah,
and all of that stuff? Isn't that the whole point? It's like a service pack.
right. I mean, this is Intel SST, probably one of the widest installed
Oh,
drivers of all
there are a
time.
lot of laptops that
I
have
mean,
that. Absolutely.
it's insanity that this wasn't caught. I mean, but to Microsoft's credit, they're a new startup. They are
You're a new
they're
startup.
making
Yeah.
changes. They break things, move fast and break things. You know what I mean?
It's like Arch. They roll them out
That's
really
right.
quick.
Exactly.
Yep.
I mean,
It should be no problem.
we tested them for 38 seconds. Roll it out, baby.
Mhm.
Asphalt 8. No. The mobile racing game. No. Some people
Yeah.
wow, here you go. This is Windows installing stuff on your computer on your behalf. Some people may not even realize they have this game installed, but it's one of the reasons they might not receive the upgrade. What? So wait,
Yeah,
so
so I think the update, if it detects any of it, like that thing, it just will pause you.
that doesn't make any sense because I have this feeling that it's not going to pop up a message and be like, "Well, you need to uninstall Asphalt 8."
No, it won't tell you.
Yeah,
It
it'll
just
just be
won't
like
update.
it'll just be like update failed, reverting, rebooting, and then you get
Yeah.
0x800045C5, and you're like,
Yeah.
what even is that? I'll just defer this
Check with your
update.
administrator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God, I love that. I love it the most when Linux tells you that, and it's like this issue will be reported, and you're like, but I'm the guy you're reporting it to.
Yeah, I am the guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I am he. Who are you? Oh wow.
Mhm.
So what if Windows 11 24H2 is paused on your device? Buy a MacBook Air. Ugh.
Get your Linux,
There you go.
distribution on your flash drive.
Do we trust Ventoy?
But I didn't say how to do it.
Oh,
You can pick your
well,
choice on that. Pick your
yeah.
poison
Well,
on that one.
I'm just throwing you into the
The,
fire immediately,
the,
making you
there's
answer
a
the hard
there's
questions.
all right. So there's some really good options. I wouldn't mess around with Ventoy personally, but
There it was.
the Fedora Media Writer's pretty good,
Actually, that's
and
what I've been using the most lately,
mhm.
because I've had to write a bunch of flash drives on Mac. So
but every distribution has their own variety there as far as media writing. So Ubuntu's
Popsicle.
got one.
Yep.
Yeah, Popsicle. Ubuntu has one, the USB creator thing.
Yep. Mint Writer or Mint Mint
Mint
something.
Stick.
Mint
Mint
Stick.
Stick.
That's the one. Mint Stick.
That one's pretty good.
Are these
Um,
all the same app?
some of them have been forked from the other ones, but I don't know. I don't know what's grouped
Which one was
together.
the original? How funny would it be to do a history episode on this? Just
I
I
feel
mean,
like the Fedora one was one of the early ones,
okay, so
and
Fedora's
I know
probably got
that
its own lineage then.
they do. And so the USB creator in Ubuntu is totally separate. That's not like the other ones either.
Right. Yeah, Matt. I mean, ever
Anyway, there's a lot
since
of great options. Go use one of those.
right, yeah. Anyway, Matt, the I think you're right. I think that's happened um since Windows 10, really, right? Since they decided to not do service packs and to do this seasonal update thing.
Just roll it out, rolling.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't like a lot of the things that get caught by the Windows internals testers. The people that sign up for the beta testing and then they're asked to do bug finding and whatever, like normal people. Um, like a lot of
Yeah,
those
well
don't get fixed by the time it rolls out. Like
that's what I'm saying. They actually do find them and they report them and they still get rolled out.
like what? What? Why?
I don't know.
It's startup. It's just it's they're a startup.
Well, they got to move.
I
Yep, got
understand.
to keep the feet moving.
I understand. Microsoft, scrappy young company. You know what I mean?
I do.
It's like Facebook. Just
Yeah.
new on the block, no idea what's going on, just breaking things. Oh yeah, 26th. This was 4 days ago. So this is an update to the thing that we were talking about as well. So
Oh yeah, the Bitwarden thing.
I
Yeah.
want to hold on before Bitwarden. Okay, that's the most recent in my news feed. So let's see. So this might wrap it up.
That's from Phoronix. I think I did post that in the news channel thingy.
This one came out on the 26th.
Yeah, I know.
Oh. You mean on Lemmy?
In Lemmy, yeah, I think I did post that.
Got it. Okay. So 2 weeks ago,
But it
Bitwarden.
was very close to when we released or
Right.
you recorded.
Okay. So
Yeah.
this might actually continue the conversation a little bit. So
It
all right.
kind of does.
So
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, on October 20th at 6:30 a.m. Central Daylight Time, Bitwarden locked the conversation to collaborators
did.
only, right? So this is basically just employees only, right? Isn't that what happens basically? People that actually
Yeah.
contribute to the project.
Yeah, project people,
Right.
yeah.
So regular folks can't just come in and comment. All right. So
Right.
is it Kevin? What is his name? Kyle
Wow.
Spearin comes out and says to the original poster that brought it up in the first place, BRJSP, thanks again for submitting the concern here. We've made some adjustments to how the SDK code is organized and packaged to allow you to build and run the app with only GPL OSI licenses included. Yay! It's
Yeah,
fixed,
they got there.
right?
Yeah,
They didn't bury the lead. They fixed it. So let's
They
keep
did.
going.
they did. Well, they made another repo
Uh-oh. All right. Okay.
that is proprietary stuff, but that
Y-
code's not included in the clients.
Right, but so you can build without that. And the
You
clients
can
remain
build
open
without it.
source.
Now you
Okay.
can, yes.
All right. Cool. So, all right, the SDK internal package references in the clients now come from a new SDK internal repository, which follows a licensing model we have historically used for all of our clients. Right. So we were right about that. That they've always used this license. It just got a little muddled on accident.
Right.
This last
Yeah, because it got forced
couple
to
of
be
weeks.
included.
Right. Okay. So the SDK internal reference only uses GPL licenses at this time. If the reference were to include Bitwarden license code in the future, we will provide a way to produce multiple build variations of the client, similar to what we do with the Web Vault client builds. So basically, they're saying if we ever add anything proprietary to it, we'll give you a way to not have that in your builds
Right.
if you want
Right.
the open version of it.
Right.
The original SDK repository will be renamed to SDK Secrets. Ooh, secrets. And retain its existing
Mhm.
Bitwarden SDK licensing structure for our Secrets Manager business product. Business product.
Right.
The SDK Secrets repository and packages will no longer be references in the client's app since that code is not used there. Okay. So job
So they
done.
fixed it.
It's fixed.
They fixed it. Yeah, it's good to go.
Okay. So it really was. I mean,
They really did fix it.
cool. So we won't have to have any kind of addition to that story because
We won't.
that was our ending point, right? Which is
Essentially, yeah.
they just went boo.
They said they were going to fix it, but they didn't say how they were going to fix it. This
Right.
is how they fixed it.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
this closes the conversation on that.
It does.
Things
I
are
think so.
cool. They're not.
Well, people's feathers got ruffled. Let's
Well,
not kid ourselves. Right?
Yeah.
But
But I mean,
should they
come
have? I don't
on.
know. They kind of jumped the gun. I feel like. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we both agree on that. Like that was, like we went straight to license violation, super bad, to
Right,
and
right.
like fork it all to, hey, was this a mistake? And then they would have been like,
Yeah.
oh, whoops, we'll fix that.
Let's wait for them to reply.
It could
They got to take a breath,
Could've just been
inhale, so
that.
they can speak. Yeah.
Could have just been that, but it wasn't.
It seems appropriate. I don't know.
Man,
You
how
want
crazy.
them to be able to speak intelligently and have a plan.
Right. Okay. Well, I mean, great. Hold on. Wait, what is does Michael, he doesn't ever really put opinions in here, does he? I do not dare go to the comment section.
No,
though.
I don't think so. He is very matter of fact.
Yeah. That's how he can pump out 800 articles a day.
He doesn't have time for that.
Yeah. I'm trying to think about this. Here's what happened. The end.
Sometimes less. I mean, he really gets it. He gets it in condensed version.
Yeah. Cool. So okay, he had the same conclusion that we did. With that, it appears the situation is now cleared up and should also avoid any user confusion for those using this open source password management solution. That would be us.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that's great. That's awesome. You said you already posted that. I don't need to post that.
I think I did. Yeah.
See, I'm making you guys go through what I normally go through to post stuff, and as you can tell, I'm a little behind. So,
Well, I mean, that might very well be the last thing that I posted. So that should give you some indication.
yeah, and
I don't know. I'd have to look. Yeah, I definitely. I did get that one. Oh, I guess I posted some stuff after that, but not much.
ooh,
Couple things.
this game looks old. I want it. Passageway of the Ancients. Oh, so it's a modern classic game. Dude, this is like Baldur's Gate. I'm gonna come back and check
But
that.
that does look kind of cool.
Yeah, this looks like the OG Neverwinter, man.
Mm-hmm. Open source variety thereof.
Yep,
That's cool.
I dig it. Okay,
I love it when things like that, they get, you know, a spin-off, in an open source variety or whatever. And, I think that's fun.
What's that? You mean this game?
I just like that style of thing where, like even the civilization spin-offs and stuff, like you know what I
Oh,
mean?
right.
Like how they have some open source versions. They're not the same. They sort of they do similar things and whatnot, but they're not the same game per
Right.
se. I
Yep.
love it when that sort of thing happens.
I do too, man. So, yep, Linux support. I don't think Liam ever talks about anything that doesn't have Linux support. Oh
Well, I hope not.
no! iMacs Linux forums, no! On the 14th. Wow, why is that so old?
I was like,
Oh no.
DDoS? Oh, I missed that.
Oh, some of the stuff just got reposted. Sometimes that happens. I do wonder why that happens. I'm gonna find out soon because I'll be hand coding RSS. But I do wonder why
Mm.
that happened.
And like, I wonder how that stuff works too, because I made a little boo boo recently with one
Oh,
of our episodes, and obviously podcasts are very RSS dependent, and I guess it updated. It probably didn't update everybody's client. They have to
probably
go in there and
not.
manually do that.
Dude, you know what's
Yeah,
funny about that is that people that didn't hear episode 1 are hearing it now for the first time, and they're like, "Oh, this is
that's
the new
true.
episode." And if you don't tune into the socials or whatever, like you
It's a
wouldn't know.
rerun, folks. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a
Sorry.
temporary rerun.
Yeah.
So the new
Yeah.
episode's out there. It's what's funny is if you ever let it, like if you skip a few and then let it play back through or whatever,
Hmm.
you'll come back through on the second playthrough and hear the actual episode 4 and be like, "Oh wow, double dipping. We get an extra new episode." And you won't know
Right.
what happened though. Like it'll
That's
just be
true. It'd
new
be
in
new.
there. But okay,
Yeah.
so most of the
Yeah.
most of the podcast catcher apps and just RSS feeds in general tend to not pull things again
Right.
unless you force it. I think Dan mentioned that he had to delete the audio file and then and mark it as unplayed and then relook. That's how you do it,
Right.
right? Like that.
Right.
Typically, you just have to mark it unplayed and pull it down again. But most podcast catcher apps, right, will see that you already have a file, so it won't pull the
Yeah.
file down and it won't do like some kind of checksum or anything to make sure that it's not the same file or whatever. But
Yeah. And
yep.
if you already started listening to it, it's going to let you finish that.
Yeah, yeah, it totally will. I mean, it's local. It's there, baby.
Yep.
It's just gonna keep going.
I think it depends on your client though too. If it's like like I'm sure if you went to like Spotify or whatever, it's just streaming that, right? So
Yeah,
it's going to have the latest one, that type of thing.
right.
So those things that are streaming and you're not actually on your device, then yeah, you're probably going to get the
You know what?
latest.
Oh, I don't have my phone. But what I could so on my phone later, I usually don't listen back to the episode through the podcast app,
Yeah, I
but
usually don't either.
I don't even think it auto. Oh, I don't think it auto downloads.
So mine doesn't. It streams it.
Okay, so you would have the newest episode because
I
it wouldn't
should
reach out and grab it until you try.
until yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because I listened to the raw MP3. So,
Well, yeah, and I listened to it too, but and I even tagged the right one and everything. So then I uploaded it, and I'm like, oh yeah, like you look on the preview, and I'm like, oh, there's the squiggly lines. We're good.
yep, yep, yep,
And
yep.
yep, close her up. Go, yeah, go away. And
Whoops.
yeah, no, I did 501 instead of
You know
504.
what's funny? And it dawned on me as soon as I read that email. That
Hmm.
let us know. By the way, we got an email. There was a couple of different pokes from different places, but I saw
Yep.
the email first, and
Mm.
when I went back and looked, it immediately struck me. And
Yeah.
man, I
The
must have
fours
been.
and ones, like they look similar, right?
Well, I mean, like when I was adding in the thumbnails and stuff to
Hmm.
the episode, I was like, I should just check. And I put it out of my mind. I was like, no, you don't need to check. It's fine.
I
Right.
should just check.
Right. Well, and I think a big part of it is that like I worry about a lot of stuff. So
Same.
I have to consciously tell myself to not worry about those things. But damn it, it's really
I'm
hard.
just as bad, dude.
y-
I'm just as bad.
Yeah, it's really hard to not worry about stuff when you're right sometimes.
I know, I know. I should question myself better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Gets
Yeah.
me
No.
every time. I hate it when that happens. I
Yeah,
hate it when I
same.
get proven right when I'm trying to tamp that down. God. Anyway, but yeah, it dawned on me. I was like, oh man, I even asked myself if I should check that, and I didn't. Could have caught it, but oh well. Well, that's funny. All
Yep,
right.
it
So,
happened. Whoopsie. Sorry. It's fixed now.
yep. So on the MX thing, the forums are on a different server than the repository, so it's not like your Linux was in a compromise at all, but it
Oh,
was.
forums were inaccessible.
Yeah, you had to jump through a couple hoops through Cloudflare. Looked like
Mm.
that's cool. You
It's not.
suggested
It's not.
Cloudflare the other day.
Yeah, it's not all bad, depending on what you're doing.
Ooh, Gekium. Oh man, that actually got me real excited. I thought they were gonna let me turn it into. You remember like the last version of Netscape where it was like it looked like a cool blue metal and like the buttons were still round. There was a big back button and a little forward button. And man, oh, I gotta look that up. Hold on. Netscape. Just Netscape, I guess. Not that one. This one's the one. This is really where I started getting super into the internet. After I got away from
Mm.
the AOL web browser or
Yep.
whatever, realized there were better browsers. Um, man, this right here is iconic, man. This is what I remember. But that's
That's
not
pretty
the one
cool.
I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of this one.
I remember the days.
This one. Okay, the back and forward buttons weren't different sizes, but this is the one I'm thinking of. I thought when I read this, Gekium turns modern Firefox into vintage, and then I got real sad when I read Google Chrome because
That is
this
not where we want to go.
this
Nope.
is the theme I want. I mean, better yet, I'll take the other theme. I'll take the original one. This one. Give me this. And I'm saying that it might actually be available to me right now, but this,
Oh, I'm sure it is. I'm sure somebody's out there's got a theme for it.
that one, or that one. I will take either. Look at this sidebar. What is this, Vivaldi?
Yeah,
Oh, Vivaldi got an update. Did you see that?
they did. I
I'm
did, and that was one of the things I did post. Yeah,
What's funny about that is I asked, "Did you see that?" But you're probably looking at that right now.
I have it installed,
Oh, you're not using it right now.
and yeah, no, it's here.
Are you using it right now?
I am using two browsers, and that is one of them.
Oh, okay, cool. And I remember this Mac too, by the way.
Oh,
These
nice.
This one was the I think before you got the cool colors with the iMacs. This was the iMac before that.
Yeah, the eMac.
Was it really called the eMac?
There was an eMac. That was a thing.
Yeah, it was Richard Stallman's thing. He uses it to write everything with, and he
Oh, I don't
uses it to
know,
post on
but
the internet with. I'm sure
not
he has
that
a
kind of
thing.
eMacs. Not eMacs. eMac.
Oh,
It was
well,
the
what happens if you have
the
multiple
CRT thing.
eMac?
Well, I guess you have more than one,
You
but
have eMacs.
you sure? It was the CRT thingy that was the colored
Yes, those are my
colored
favorite.
thingy.
Oh my God, hold on, look.
Those are eMacs, yeah.
iMac color.
Yeah. So
These,
the iMac color things, yeah.
these. I don't remember if we had the color ones or not. I remember them lined up against the wall and what the room looked like and walking into it, but I don't remember the color. I remember that Apple had the absolute best text to speech at the time. It was surprisingly good for something that was just not prevalent anywhere. And then look, that's what it is today. That's the new one, I think. Like just announced, super new. They've come a long way.
Yeah, so the eMac was actually just an education version of that, essentially.
Oh, so maybe we did have the eMac.
I mean, you
See,
might have.
look, see? Do you see? The internet sees. When I look up eMac, oh, wait, maybe I just need to do eMac.
Yeah, you need to do Apple eMac. Just saying.
Oh, there it is. No, this is not the one we had.
No, but that was a thing. That was definitely a thing.
Dude, I would, on this
We
one,
had a lot of those on campus. Yeah.
they didn't have speaker grate or anything. So you just see the
Uh,
driver itself.
yeah. Plain
Dude,
plain Jane. Yep.
dude,
Very
I would
plain.
turn up the music so loud just so I could see it move. Like that kind of stuff is endlessly interesting to me. And
They
then
didn't they didn't last. They were like maybe a year's worth of time. Yeah, I
the
guess according
speakers.
to Wikipedia. No, the eMac thing.
Oh,
Yeah, they were only around for like a year.
Oh, probably because keeping a separate SKU and
Oh yeah,
body
it made no
style
sense,
just for
right?
education was probably expensive. And it's like,
Yeah, it made
well,
no sense.
if we sell them the one that the consumers get, then they'll know to go home and just buy that one.
Well, it was like towards the tail end of those CRT versions, and they just
Yeah.
got rid of them all and just went, LCD screen.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, Zook. Yeah, he saw it too. That's what I'm talking about, man. Like, I have such a problem. And then when that stuff happens, it's like, yep, you have a problem for a reason. No, I don't want to be paranoid. Yet it pays off sometimes. Ah, gets me every time. Netscape was so cool, man. I'm
It
so
was cool.
sad about Firefox's market share. That just all of it. Well, I think it's less Netscape, and it was more just the internet at the time. And I
Oh
think
yeah.
this is a big reason why I want to do the website the way that I do it. Uh, like WordPress is fantastic. It is absolutely amazing. But you know what you can't run WordPress on? Internet Explorer 6.
Ah, that's no good.
It's like your JavaScript's too new. What is this magic? And then it'll like croak and die. Um,
JavaScript. Did they even have that back then?
they did, right? JavaScript was like 99. So it was, well, hold
Okay.
on. See, now everybody on the live
Just wasn't
stream
popular.
gets to go down these stupid rabbit holes with me. This is what I do. Like Dan will say something in chat and I'm like, "Ooh, I don't know. Let's go find out." And then I go find out. Like, when did JavaScript happen? 95. December 4th,
Wow. Okay.
1995, 24 years or 28 years ago. But there's no way that it was like prevalent until later. Right. So I knew Netscape had created it. So like Netscape's cool and all, except when they create stuff like this that, to their credit, was not meant to pop up stupid videos that get in your face and, be the entire thing that we hate about the internet and ads. But, uh, you know, so let's see. A language for the masses. And, well, it won. It did it.
It seems to have, yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, Internet Explorer. Oh, hey, look, this is exactly to your question. Microsoft debuted Internet Explorer in 1995. On the JavaScript front, Microsoft, oh God. Yeah, Microsoft created its own interpreter called JScript and then
Of
released
course they did.
JScript in 96. Initial support for CSS and HTML. This explains why in the late 90s, that's what I was learning. Okay. And it was HTML4 at the time, 3 up to then. Well, obviously, because that's how you count. But, like, I remember the switch is why I say that. I realize now how dumb that sounds.
Yeah, that's
Here
a
we
blast
go.
from the past.
I told you, there it is. During the period of Internet Explorer dominance in the early 2000s, client-side scripting was stagnant. Here it is. This started to change in 2004 when the successor of Netscape, Mozilla, released the Firefox browser. Firefox was well received by many, taking significant market share from Internet Explorer. This is the golden era of Mozilla and its dominance in the market. And
Yeah.
what I think, like, from late 90s to early 2000s was, I mean, that was it, man. That was what I remember of, like, the early internet. And then so JavaScript happened, but then Macromedia came out with Flash
Flash. Yep.
and ActionScript 3. I remember this because right around this time, I don't think ActionScript was out, but Flash certainly was, and Dreamweaver was. And Dreamweaver was that, you
Oh
drag and
yeah.
drop all your web
That
stuff together and it spits out.
WYSIWYG.
Yep.
Yeah.
What all you fancy folk are doing with Hugo and Markdown nowadays, that's what Dreamweaver was doing in 99.
Yeah, like all the stuff that happens in WordPress and all those CMS
Yeah.
things,
Yeah, actually.
like that's what was happening on your local machine.
You know what? It didn't actually dawn on me. That's right.
That's
CMSs
totally
are
how that
why
went down.
Yeah, CMSs
Yeah,
are why Dreamweaver died.
absolutely.
Well, and I don't even think Dreamweaver's dead. See,
No, I
internet,
think it's still a thing.
Dreamweaver. This is internet. This is it. I'm telling you. This is what happens to me. Like, I'll say something stupid, and here we are, Adobe Dreamweaver. I try not to click on Adobe links, right, on purpose. Okay, till present, yeah. So it's still going. You can still do it. But why? Well, I guess because you want responsive websites without having to load up jQuery and 7 other languages to do it, right?
I guess so.
Yeah,
They
what
still
what
all do the same. It still all does the same things. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's a WYSIWYG editor for the most part. Edits
I
files
don't think it's
locally,
changed
uploads
much. Yeah.
them. Yeah, but yeah, that's the point, right? Where you're supposed to you handle it. That's kind of cool though.
It is. It's Adobe stuff though. So
Yeah. So what's funny about this is that the classes that I was taking, we had Dreamweaver installed on the machine, but we would be deducted points if we used it. Or like you were meant to
Oh,
hand code the HTML and the CSS files separately in Notepad
yeah.
or
It took care
whatever.
of all the CSS stuff for you. It was kind of great
Yeah.
back then. Yeah, I do
Notepad,
remember using it.
I don't remember even having what's the word? I don't even remember having like color coding. Dreamweaver had it, but I don't remember
Hmm.
having it like in the editors we were using at the time. I think we used
Mm.
NetBeans, but I don't remember if NetBeans would have done HTML, but it could have. It was a Java thing.
Yeah, I don't remember that either.
Yeah, because on the other side of that, we were using Java. And like because you could load Java applets in a web page,
Right.
which is what I guess JavaScript was there to kind of supplant. But we would make a Java app. I've made asteroids.
Uh-huh.
I forgot to put acceleration limiters on the little spaceship, so like eventually you would just be going so fast you couldn't stop.
You couldn't stop
It
them.
would take
Yeah.
forever. But then you would like load up the code to bring up the Java app in the web page. So it was like a whole stack thing, man. Like it was really, really cool. I really appreciate now. It sucked then because I didn't want to learn any of that
Right.
besides maybe HTML.
Right.
That was really cool. Anyway, okay, so Dreamweaver's still a thing. That's really cool. I wouldn't pay for it. But
No, I would not. I would not either.
see, all because I don't want to use a Google Chrome theme. That's cool though. Google Chrome was cool when it came out.
Yeah,
I was on that train, man.
I was too.
Cuz when was that? That would have been 2006, 2008?
Yeah, early. Yeah.
I mean, it's older than I would think because turns out I'm old now. Oh, it's right here. Thanks, DuckDuckGo. You always know what I want. 2008. Oh, wow. I'm good.
That was good.
Linux. Oh, okay. Linux got it in June of the next year. And then it just was multi-platform at 5.0 in 2010. Cool. But yeah, so 2008. Yeah, man, in 08 cuz Gmail that came out
Yes.
well before Chrome. And I remember
I had that early days too.
getting into the beta and I had signed up like 5
Yes.
people with the codes that they gave you.
Yep. Yep.
I don't
Yep.
remember if there was there like a reward for that?
I don't know.
2004. Yeah. Yep. That was the beginning of the end of the internet right there. Look at that, right?
It was the beginning of the end
I'm
of
telling you,
email.
I remember the good parts of the internet because now the internet is. I can't really say the internet's bad because obviously it's so good, it's addictive.
Well, we still use it, right?
Yeah, well,
But yeah, no, totally. I
yeah,
remember early days there, and I was like, "Wow, this is great. Email that doesn't suck because you
it
didn't get all the
it didn't.
spam."
Well, because we
Yeah.
all had a Yahoo account, dude, up until that point, and we were like, "Good God, anything is better than this."
Yep. Yeah. Yep. Yep.
uh,
Yeah, spam was so bad.
Yeah, Matt says they bundle Dreamweaver and Creative Cloud. Yeah, okay, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I should be looking at that closer, but yeah, and I can get a hold of the Creative Cloud because I'm in education
Yeah,
for
I got
quite
one.
cheap. Like I think maybe $10 a month or something. I think the normal price is 20 or to get
Yeah, I don't
the
know.
main
We get a
one.
huge discount too, but
Yeah.
I don't have it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly, right? Like even with a discount, it's hard for me to justify paying for that when there are alternatives. Like if I were going to get a software that was Windows only, it's really hard for me to say I wouldn't go Affinity right now as opposed to Adobe. Like I'm not trying to pay a subscription. And I think Affinity is
Mhm.
probably going subscription eventually if it hasn't
Like
already.
most things are.
Um, Affinity Suite maybe? Yeah, creative software. We are Affinity. Um, let me see. Buy.
Have
Let's
some
see.
cookies.
Oh, ugh, I know. Thanks, GDPR. You jerk. Yeah, one-off payment. Look at this. You can still buy the software here.
That's
I
cool.
mean, I don't want to pay $165 for it, but if I were in the market for a software that I was going to use professionally or whatever, and I had to have something like this, it would probably be Affinity and not Adobe because of the subscription. Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know I won't get the newer versions for free. They'll probably give me a discount for upgrading or something like that. But the fact that I can install it on my machine, get the very last update, and then just run it into the ground for the rest of my life is just really cool. I know I'm missing out on the new stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, are you? I mean, like, you're probably gonna get a new machine. Then you'd be like, well, maybe I'll get a new version.
Right. Exactly. So, I mean,
That'll be when you want to update, right?
but apparently the psychology of a subscription, it just makes more money than this.
Yeah. Well, people just are like, shut up and take my money so that I don't have to worry about it.
That is true
There's
too.
that mentality, right?
Yeah.
I've been
Oh,
guilty. I am very guilty for other
well,
things.
there are definitely things that deserve my money.
Yeah. I have my share of streaming services that I subscribe to.
Oh, right. Yeah, exactly. Right. Like I've got TV things. I've got whatever subscriptions. I'm not immune to subscriptions, but software is just one of those ones. And it's probably because of when
Yeah.
we encountered and how we encountered this software historically that we're a little harder to sell subscriptions to software wise. Maybe if you're
y-
younger, you just don't have that immunity.
that is just the way it is. You
Yeah,
just do it.
right. You were born into it, and this is how it is. So yeah, okay. Maybe it's that simple. Still can't get on with tiling shells. Still can't do it.
It's a
Oh,
thing.
just not a thing for me.
Speaking of new things and things that just came out, hey, how about that Fedora?
Oh yeah, hold on, that's in here. Fedora magazine. Let's isolate this.
And
Here we
so
go.
you brought up tiling window things, and there's a new spin.
Oh wait. Hold on, I want to guess. Is it Sway?
It is not that one was already existing,
Oh, okay. So then it wouldn't be i3 because we're Wayland over here now.
right?
It's a
Yeah,
tiling
you
one?
won't guess this. It is, and you won't guess it.
Oh, it's Pop, the Cosmic.
No, that might be a
Oh,
spin. I'm not sure. No, it's Miracle. It's Mir.
yep. Never would have guessed. Wow. Oh,
Yep.
wait. What
So
a clever name.
they took the canonical thing, Mir, which is the Wayland compositor
Yeah,
that was supposed to be for Unity
right?
eventually, and
Oh,
now they've turned it into a tiling window manager called Miracle.
okay. I love
And so
that.
now there is a Fedora spin for that.
Interesting. Okay, so it's probably in the what's new. We'll see it. So
I think so. It should be. I haven't read through this yet, actually.
accent color's cool. So I mean, for what it's worth,
Yeah, it's
Gnome
all the
is
GNOME stuff, right? Yeah.
yeah is following kind of in a Microsoft and a Apple footstep, right?
hmm
Where I mean,
Yeah, it.
everything is meant to at least be somewhat consistent
hmm
in the operating system, and so but we got accent colors now, which means that it doesn't all have to just be blue. That's
Yeah,
great. That's great. Unless
yeah.
the
We don't have to.
developer chooses those colors for you, right? Like the developer can turn off whether or not the accent colors
I think so.
work. Like they can make it rainbow unicorn if they want,
They can.
and you can't change that client side.
Correct.
Okay,
Yep.
yeah. Right. And I mean, I know, I get it. I mean, I grew up with theming, which is why that felt ugly to me.
Hmm.
But I get what they're going for because when I look at Mac and Windows, that's exactly what they're doing
That's
too.
what you get.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I get it. I get it. I mean, I like it, but I get it. And I mean, it looks good for what it's worth. It does look good. I mean,
It does.
I do like the flatness of a gnome, man. I really do.
Hmm.
It's quite pretty. All right, let's see. Small screen support. Oh, that's great. Because I've got this 1080p screen, little tiny one,
Oh, yeah.
and I want to pixel double it. But when you pixel double a 1920 by 1080 screen, you get it at like 960 by 540,
Hmm.
and
Which is
you know,
big.
yeah, everything is quite chonk.
Hmm.
But it's perfect for like turning web pages into reader mode and reading something just on that
Oh,
screen,
yeah.
right?
That would be good. Yeah.
And I have it vertical. Like I'm looking at it now.
You have it vertical.
It's where I got all my chats. I'm looking at them, but nobody's chatting.
Oh, that makes sense, honestly.
See, just when I pull up all the chats, everybody's asleep. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Oh, that makes sense. That's cool.
New style. So I like this. Red means
The new
scary.
dialogues. I think so. Yeah, that's good.
Red is scary. Blue is default. Cancels there. What's IPU?
I don't know.
Oh, is it? So it's taking your camera and throwing it to the browser? New. Oh,
so.
wait. New cameras. IPU camera support. Hold on.
I don't know what those are.
And drivers. What is it? Oh, MIPI cameras. So that first link was it. What is a MIPI interface? Are these like the Raspberry Pi kinds? Oh, they are.
That's what it looks like. Yeah.
Oh,
That's cool.
okay. Yeah, Raspberry Pi came out with AI cameras too, right? Like
Did they?
uh-huh.
Oh, that's neat.
They have, I think the 5 has like some kind of little coprocessor or whatever that helps with that. Or maybe it's on
Oh,
the
yeah,
board
yeah, yeah.
itself. But it does some of the cleanup for you, which is cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
that's neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
That's what this is. Just using that Raspberry Pi type interface. I don't know if it's a Raspberry Pi type 1, but it's one similar to it. That's cool though. Okay.
Yeah.
So we've got
Neat.
camera support, baby, in Fedora 41. But where that would have come from the kernel, wouldn't it?
Well, I don't know. I guess you need some sort of interface in the desktop environment too.
Integrate support using the ISIS driver. Okay, so this is more of a packaging thing. Okay, so they have to package the driver. They have to pull in the driver with the kernel to make it work. Okay, so they're just doing the work to pull in the driver.
Neat. Okay.
Oh, and then Firefox supports it through Pipewire. Oh, now that's cool.
That's good stuff. Yeah. Then you
That's
can
really
route it around
cool.
where you need to route it to.
Yeah. Hey, look at the email address. Just saying, they do good work.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right, iBus chewing for tradition.
Schwing? Schwing? I think schwing.
What?
It's Taiwanese, so I think it's schwing. I'm not sure.
Oh, what does that mean then?
I don't know. It's a
Um,
language thing.
Oh
think.
wow, yeah. First thing comes
Yeah.
chewing tobacco. No.
No.
So we got to do the iBus one to get what I want. So what is this? Front end, an intelligent Chinese input method for, zhuing. I don't know if I'm saying that
Zhuing.
right,
Okay,
but
I was
that,
close-ish.
okay, so this is like an approximation of the actual input method. Is this one of those open source things where it's like just like a funky version of the name so they don't get in trouble?
Maybe.
Or is
Oh, I didn't
is
realize that was proprietary, but
is well, I don't know. Is this a language or is it a
yeah, I think
method?
so.
Transliteration system, Bopomofo. That's hilarious. Uh, phonetic system. Oh. Okay. So this is a way to use Roman characters to then translate
At
into.
to yeah.
Oh, cool. Oh, that's really cool. All right. So for
Sounds complicated.
I
Not gonna
mean,
lie.
yeah. Well, it looks complicated because I don't read it, and yeah, maybe if we read it, it would. Oh no, that's very intuitive. That makes sense.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, you know what? We see this every single time,
The NVIDIA driver support?
and then when you go over to Reddit, it's like,
Yeah, it didn't
did
work.
it really support like what? I mean,
It might now because I
mm.
think like third party app sources are like in the installer now.
Okay, so you're saying
Right.
18th charm is the time. Wait, 18th time is the charm.
Yeah. No, but I think it's there. I think you like tick it on and it happens and it works.
Because hasn't Nvidia been a tick box in Google GNOME software for like a really long time? It
Well,
came.
maybe I just meant the Fedora installer
w-
now actually
Oh,
supports the third party stuff. So the fact that you can get NVIDIA obviously makes
oh.
sense because it will work when you enable the third party stuff.
So so if you had an Nvidia card with no integrated graphics or whatever, you had to use the Nvidia card to install with. It would just use Nouveau, right?
Yeah, the open source version.
And
Yeah.
then after you installed, you would then flip on the toggle to install the driver and then reboot.
Yeah, yeah, you got to add a repo, right?
Well, it came in. So that was the thing. It came in with. Remember when Flatpak got its toggles
Hmm.
in GNOME software? I want to say it was either that release or around that time that Nvidia got its toggle too.
Yeah, for GNOME, but not for Fedora, I don't think. I think that's the difference here.
Oh, okay.
Because if you don't have the repo that you need enabled, you can toggle that switch on and off all you want. It's still
Oh,
only going to
okay.
pull in
I guess
the
I'll have to
Nouveau
poke
thing.
at it. I'm
But now it's probably I don't have NVIDIA, so I can't tell you. But
yeah, neither do I.
um,
Oh, actually, yeah, I say I should go try that now, but I don't have any Nvidia. But I can see if the switch is there.
sure,
Maybe where the switch came in, because
yeah,
I don't ever get modern GNOME without Fedora. So I know that the switch that I
right.
saw was in Fedora, but you might be right in that there was, you were
It
flipping
didn't
the
do
switch, but
anything.
there was no light bulb screwed in there, right?
Yeah, yeah, you're over there, toggling that bad
Yeah.
boy on and off, and
Yeah,
nothing's happening.
that's it. That's it. All right. And then Texas has
Texas,
the we got a we got
it's
another
new.
comment on one of the videos talking about how Texas was a silly name. And it is. But I think I think Luna had sent our
Mhm.
take on it to is it Christian? Was he
I
the
believe
guy?
so. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he was like, well, silly names get a lot of press or whatever. And
And so he's happy about it.
yeah, I mean, honestly, it does. Yeah. And I'm glad he took it in good spirits.
Yeah, because that's how we meant it.
Yeah. Pataxis.
Yep.
All right. So I didn't see anything about the new spin. Maybe
They
it's
didn't
in
talk
this
about the
one.
spins.
Oh yeah, DNF5. So I made
Oh
a
yeah,
joke
yeah, faster.
in Discord about this because the
Mhm.
only thing anybody's going to compare it to is Pac-Man, and the discussion
Wow.
went exactly the way that I expected it to. Pac-Man's not the same. Pac-Man doesn't do the same stuff that DNF does. So of course Pac-Man's going to be faster. You also sometimes end up with broken systems because of it. So yeah, but
Yeah,
DNF
it's not
is
doing the same checking in the background, right?
right.
Yeah.
DNF
Mhm.
is a much more careful implementation of a package manager. So I don't. It has never ever been a concern of mine how fast my package manager was. It is a concern of people that I think update their system 18 times a day.
Yeah, well, you're on the wrong system if that's what you're looking for.
Right. But yeah, I
Unless
think
you're like Rawhide or something.
right. Yeah. So it just never even occurred to me to be like, ugh, apt is so slow. Like
Yeah.
never even it's updates. You know,
I just want it to get done correctly. I don't care how
right.
long it takes.
Yeah. But yeah, I didn't until we did the Arch Challenge thing know
Yeah.
that
Oh, yeah, Pac-Man is fast. There's no
yeah,
doubt about that
it's
one.
definitely fast, but I didn't know at the expense of what until we started using it, and I'm like, wait a minute, it really does just grab these packages and shove them in there, huh?
Splat them all over. Yeah, which is one
Sure
of the reasons
does.
why they tell you not to have too many concurrent things happening at the same time
Yep.
because you can hurt yourself
You sure can, and it's kind of funny when it happens, because
a little bit.
you get real good at backups or reinstalling Arch real fast.
Hmm.
If you're a tinkerer, if you're not, if you install the Arch system and then just never mess with it, the chances are pretty slim that you'll break
Yeah,
something.
yeah. I think, yeah.
Let's see. Yeah. New options for image mode. Secure boot support for systems which need the proprietary. Oh, now that's interesting about the NVIDIA driver. Because,
Yeah, secure boot stuff.
yeah, because,
Like the whole mock util thing to get your DKMS stuff
right.
and
The moment you introduce
get that. Yeah.
DKMS is the moment that
Oh.
your secure boot explodes, which is why I think while it's older, the Ubuntu system works better in this regard because the kernel
Yeah,
is built with NVIDIA in mind and you get that kernel.
it,
So,
it works better with other DKMS modules too.
right.
Just saying.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So
But
that's
but
really
I mean,
cool.
those in general, really, they're like some sort of invitation for trouble. It feels like.
Hmm. Oh, yeah. 0-day updates. What? What is this? There's several important release day bug fix and security updates. Oh, okay. Okay. This is telling you to update after you install because, it's, you know,
Right.
it's a release. Stuff's
There's
not
updates
perfect.
to your updates. Yeah.
Yeah. We updated your update so you can update while you update. In the unlikely event of a problem, because you applied your 0-day updates and fixed them all, you can go over to Ask
Right.
Fedora. I always wish I could make the water cooler ones. Um,
Mm.
or maybe it's not these. It's because they do a live thing. They do like an office hours or whatever, don't they?
They do a release party type thing
Yeah.
usually.
I
They
always,
usually don't announce those for like a week or so, I feel like.
I always mean to go to those, and then I forget, or it's just at a time I can't make it.
Right.
So wait a minute.
Here we go.
Okay, so so we're getting KDE Okay, me and you, which
Yeah, Plasma 6 too.
yeah, I was talking to the Secure Blue guy today and yesterday. It looks like
Yes.
they're on they were on the cusp
Hmm.
of the Fedora 41 stuff in UBlue, which would then trickle down to us, right?
Yep.
Okay, all right. So that's fantastic. I need to update my Aurora machine, which is
I
on a
haven't got the
different
notification yet for the
which
update, but I'm sure it's coming.
yeah, and it's on a different drive than this guy.
Ah.
So it's on the framework, but Ubuntu's in there now, so I gotta swap the drive because I don't like doing the whole.
Yeah, it makes sure you don't, splat over top of something you like.
Yeah. I do still have a backup or two, but yeah.
Yeah, I know, but takes time.
So Plasma 6.2.
Mm.
I like where it's at, man. I
I
really
do
like where
too.
Plasma's
It
at.
really is very, very fun, very nice.
I think one thing though
Comfy.
is
Mhm.
man after GNOME decides on how they're going to implement fractional scaling,
Mm.
because no matter how much you complain that this screen is not truly high DPI, there's got to be some kind of implementation to handle fractional scaling. There's got to be.
Yeah, I don't know how that's gonna go down, but it works really well in Plasma, so
Yeah, right.
whatever.
So I mean, it's absolutely doable. And an implementation works very well for me.
Same.
But I really want them to do it. And so when that happens, it's going to be a really, really hard decision for me. Because while I love Plasma, I like I don't think it's like the interface. I think it's the way that gnome is opinionated about gestures.
Mm,
I think that's what really grabs me a lot.
I got you. Yeah, well, hey, if that's your jam, I mean, that's fine.
Yeah. But honestly, the thing that would make me second guess that is if Plasma exposed how many fingers I use to do things, because then I could just make it the way that I want, and then it would be much harder to pull me away.
Yeah, I don't get that caught up into it. I think, well, probably because most of my devices, they actually have a mouse. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, and mine do too. So it's not a huge deal for most applications, but when I'm on a laptop, it does make a huge
yeah,
difference
that
for
makes
me
sense.
because the
Hmm.
other laptop I have besides this framework is a Mac, and
Mm.
so I'm very used to a gesture-driven desktop when it
Yeah,
when
see,
I'm mobile.
that makes sense. I think on my laptop, I tend to use more keyboard stuff, keyboard shortcut things.
Right. Oh my God, Dan! I posted the live stream link in our team thing, not in Discord, not in user
Oh,
space.
you know, I missed that, which, I mean, my bad.
No worries, it's there now.
I mean, I guess if you
Uh,
were in Discord, you probably saw that anyway.
Maybe. Yeah. Well, I mean, all you got to do is look over there, and you can see our faces in the little chat down there.
Yeah, and it tells you that we got the vidya going.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool. So I can't wait. It's probably ready by now, isn't it? You think
What's that?
the
I don't know.
Aurora Fedora
I checked this
41
morning and it
upgrade?
wasn't, but maybe soon.
Okay. Okay. Because this was yesterday, right? Yes, yesterday.
Yes. Yeah, I figured a couple of days.
All right. Yeah. Anyway, so what else is coming? Everything else is the same, right? So
Yeah,
you're
for the
getting
most
Plasma
part.
6.2. So all the cool changes are in
So
Plasma
so
6.2 plus what we
they
read a second ago.
they are, and I think Plasma Mobile is also a new spin. I think
Huh. Cool.
if you're into putting that on your mobile device, whether that's tablet or phone.
Kinda. Is there a way to run Plasma Mobile in like a VM, like in that kind of a situation,
Well,
in like a
I don't know.
WUSL?
I'm not tried that, but I don't know why you wouldn't be able to.
Would we
You'd
call
have
it
to.
the Linux subsystem for Linux?
Nah, I'm sure you could do it in a virtual machine or yeah, whatever.
Because it's meant for ARM devices, right? I don't think they
It
have
is.
64
No,
bit.
but there's no reason you can't emulate the processor.
Oh, so you would use something like QEMU, right?
Yeah,
Hey, quick
I
MU.
think you could. Yeah, QuickEmu would work.
Do you think quick MU can pull those?
Oh, I don't know what's in the database there. I'd have to look. I know they've been adding things, lots of things.
Create Linux virtual machines.
There's a list somewhere in the code, basically. If you use the quick GUI, it just has drop down or whatever.
Okay. Do you think those would be in
I
there?
don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
Hmm. That'd be cool.
But I know you totally can emulate hardware.
Right. Yeah. And that's what kind of gave me pause, and I thought maybe we could get away with it. And if we could, that would be cool because I do want to play with that software. I just don't have a device that wouldn't make it look terrible. Like I've got the
Sure.
first Pine phone, and apparently
Yeah.
that phone is not what you want to be testing things on because the performance is going to be abysmal.
Yeah, terrible. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. So I don't want to do them a disservice and be like, oh, it was crap. But it was just a device that,
Reality, it was just your phone. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. Um, but that does
Yeah.
remind me, it's 10 years old. But Bill from Linux OTC sent me a Samsung Android device. So I'm gonna be able to possibly, I don't know, I haven't fully set it up yet, but I'm gonna be in a situation where I think I can run Thunderbird as long as the version of Android is up to snuff for that. But I guess that's to be seen. We'll see once I get that all hooked up. I swear, as soon as I hook it up to my email, I'm gonna get emails about like, hey, you should think about upgrading this device. It's out of support.
Yeah.
This version of
Yeah.
Android is no longer getting updates.
hmm
But we'll see if I can run Thunderbird on it. If I can get the creepy crawly apps that I don't want to tie to the rest of my life on it, then it'll serve its purpose for now.
Sure.
And depending on how sluggish that feels, I may not need to upgrade immediately. But someone suggested a Pixel 7.
Yeah,
Which
I agree with that.
I think, yeah, you had mentioned the Pixel line. Someone on Mastodon mentioned the Pixel line.
Yep,
Pixels.
I agree with that. I think they're probably the easiest to flash
Yeah.
if you want to mess around with other things.
Yeah, look at that, $200. That's not too bad.
Yeah, they aren't terrible. No, they're pretty good, and they're really pretty performant. Honestly, even the 7 is still pretty.
Yeah, 7's 2 versions ago, right? They're on the 9 now?
Yeah, the 9 is right now. Right now.
Okay, so they just released that.
Not terribly long ago. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So it's 2 versions back.
189. I don't need a lot of storage. Carrier.
Yeah, I mean,
Are they going to charge? They're
Oh.
going to charge me extra to unlock it.
no, it says it's unlocked.
No, I chose unlocked. It was on
Oh.
AT&T. Look, it's cheaper. Well, I guess I don't.
You want unlocked? Trust me.
You know what? It wouldn't actually matter to me because I'm not going to stick a SIM in it anyway.
Yeah, but if you ever did,
Well, I'm on AT&T, so
no, I guess that could
that
work
would
then.
kind of work out. But Verizon, was it Spectrum was the
Yeah.
cheapest? Well, yeah, $189 for the Spectrum one. What is Spectrum? Is that
Why?
a cable
That's
company?
a cable company. Yeah, Charter, Spectrum,
Gross.
all the same company.
Mm-hmm.
It's gross. That's what I have.
Oh, is it gross?
Yeah, for my cable internet. Yeah, that's what I have.
But hey, you upgraded recently, right?
I did not.
Oh, were you thinking about it?
They did boost my bandwidth,
Oh, okay.
but I didn't intentionally upgrade.
Got it. Wait. These jokers, they can't even. It's 5% on. Do you see this?
Yeah, I do.
Was $209.95. Now it's $218.45. 5% off. Yo, eBay.
That's backwards. That's backwards, folks.
Yeah, it's not 5% off, it's 5% on. What kind of
Yeah, it
shady
is.
tricks? Everybody, take a screenshot. Class action lawsuit. Let's go. Uh-oh. Now I'm in trouble.
See what you started.
What kind
I mean,
of...
I guess like Swappa's a thing too.
Oh, wait, I thought that was a Canadian thing.
No, I think it's American.
What's Swappa? Buy and sell. Oh,
Yeah.
it's just for phones and laptops and stuff?
Yeah.
Oh. Pixel 7. Same price-ish. Wait, what's the difference? 7 and 7A.
The A is a little smaller, I believe.
Oh, that's me.
And it might not have the
Oh.
same processor.
Wait,
But I think everything else is pretty much the same.
better or worse?
I think it's like really close.
Pixel 7 versus 7A. All right, AI-generated drivel, help me out. Oh, look at this. The Pixel 7a has beautiful colorways. See, everybody likes to rag on Apple, man, but everybody else writes about Android just the exact same way. So funny.
That's true.
Okay, so you can get them bigger, 256 gig option. I did
Right.
see that. Unappealing
Since you're not-
colors. Put it in a case, my man.
Yeah, really.
Wait, only 90 hertz display? Wait, that's against? Hold on. Why is that against? That's great. Like it can't slow down or something? So it like always uses more battery or something? It's not adaptive?
I don't know. That's not a great comparison.
Dude, 90 hertz is fantastic. Please, yes, and thank you.
Maybe the 7A does 120 or something.
Yeah, I guess. Neal, tell me why I need a Pixel 7 versus a 7A. Why?
You don't. I don't think.
Oh, wait. Yeah, look. The A comes with a 90 hertz AMOLED display, too.
Oh, he can.
Oh,
Okay.
good.
I'm glad somebody can.
Good camera, wireless charging. Dan, you need one of these, too, and then you can use it as a camera. Is the camera really good?
Yeah, I think the cameras are pretty decent on those.
Yeah, I think so, right? Like the Google ones have decent. I think Samsung takes the cake. I think they do have the better camera, don't they?
They probably do. If you're talking Android, yeah.
Hmm.
But I think the Google one's close.
Okay, so 8 gig of RAM, very good value, slightly more pocketable. Okay, so this is smaller. AI features. Oh, I can try out.
We gotta have that.
What's his
Yeah,
name?
Gemini.
Gregory?
Gemini.
Oh, Gemini. Yeah. They should have named it
Yeah,
Gregory.
Jippity. Should have named it Jippity.
That would have been funny. Gregory. Like, hey, Gregory. Like, wouldn't that be? I think that'd be cool. Like, Gregory. Gregory. Hello. Tell me
Neal.
why. Tell me why they didn't name Gemini Gregory, first of all, and then we'll get into the fun stuff.
Isn't Gemini from the month that it launched? I think it launched in June, didn't it?
Oh, maybe.
Oh, is that its sign?
Is that how it
I know that
became?
it's a sign because it's also my sign as well.
Oh,
Okay.
you're
All
a
right.
Gem.
All
That's
right.
why we're so compatible. Okay. Makes sense.
At least for my year, according to whatever defines the zodiac, the Greek zodiac. I'm a Gemini.
It's all about Mars being, or Mercury being in retrograde, man. You know, when your phone doesn't boot up, Mercury's in retrograde, dude.
I refuse to think about it more than like 10 seconds because
is the moon full?
I think the thing launched during, I want to say it because it launched in I think May of last year. And I think that makes it a Gemini. I forget because like there was technically a shift for the Greek astrology stuff.
Oh.
And it moved Gemini's window. But like I think the reason it's named, I think that's why it's named that is because
I think you're right, Neal, because I found a blog post that
Wait a minute.
verifies all that.
You're telling me that we could have gotten Sagittarius.
Oh yeah,
I mean, I'd have been cool with that.
Yeah, I mean, but it probably would have been called a diminutive of Sagittarius because that's a bit long. And some people struggle with saying that word because it is a proper Greek word that has Greekish phenoms in it. So
that's more reason to use it. No one can say it right. You get all these negative articles about like no one can say this name, and then like all the YouTube videos of everybody being like, and then like
it just serious. Come on, you want the user experience to not be terrible.
I'm Sagittarius.
So
at least saying Gemini, it's an uncommon name, but everyone knows how. Well, okay, the Germans are going to probably say Gemini because
I'm going to say it's Gemini.
Yeah.
It's Gemini.
Yeah, because they don't do the G. They don't do
the
wait, JG.
Hold on, I just want to throw this out there. It's not Gemini, it's Gemini. Kind of like GIF. Okay.
So in English,
we have giraffe. That's correct. Yeah, I appreciate you bringing up the English language.
Well, actually, so fun story about giraffe. The reason why giraffe is that is because it's actually, we inherited the word from Arabic, and in Arabic they use the other sound. And this is actually the reason why English has dual sounds for G, ga, and ja. Because loan words from Arabic that go from there, when they were Romanized, before we used J for it, we used the G letter for it.
So what you're saying is
from when they were borrowed into European languages that don't use the J for this sound, but instead use it for the gliding Y sound that we use in English with the letter Y. So when that happens and it got translated back then, they didn't keep spellings for that when they came over to English. So they respelt it, matching this convention, which is why giraffe starts with a G in English.
Okay, I got it. So you're telling me that GIF is pronounced GIF because when you break it down, it's actually just binary, and binary is going to be represented by the Arabic numerals 1 and 0, and therefore GIF is actually an Arabic word. Therefore,
You are
GIF.
trying way too hard to make GIF make sense when it's the graphical interchange format, and
Giraffical.
therefore it is GIF.
No,
Giraffe.
no, it's giraffical because it has a long neck. Come on.
Anyway,
Also, fun fact: the "ja" sound didn't exist in Latin, and graphical is a Latin-derived word, so therefore no.
It's got a long neck. Giraffical.
well, English is just a melting pot of languages.
well,
We
it-
just absorbed
no.
all of them. Really, seriously. I mean, come on, let's be real.
Yeah, well, some of it is more like English was beaten into the ground by invaders
There we
and forced
go.
to take it.
Yeah,
That's
why
right.
it's everything. That's
That's the
exactly why it's
one.
everything.
My favorite are
But
the
yeah,
French
like,
words that no one can pronounce.
Oof.
So,
Hey.
fun fact about the French words in English.
Have you ever had a
Some-
rendezvous? I have. For coffee one time.
So, a couple of things about funny we're talking about this because I was literally like reading about this as I was bored on my flight back from the Ubuntu Summit. So, so fun fact about this, and I was watching some podcasts. One of them is was by the Words Unraveled by the Rob Words guy, and they actually talked about why English spelling is so bonkers. It's because spelling was being locked down at the same time English was going through a phonology shift.
Oh, yeah,
The great
yeah.
vowel shift that existed, the great vowel shift that happened, I think it was 14th century or something like that. Because it was happening at that time, the spellings that were locked down matched the pronunciations before the vowel shift. And so that's why we have words that don't match their, like Germanic words that don't match the way that they're said because they used to be said differently. So, for example, knife, the K was not silent. It was knife.
That's so awesome because I say that all the
Okay, that's
time.
cool.
So what you're saying is
Right.
when I say
So,
knife,
like-
I'm actually more correct.
You're just old.
You are. Yeah, so like a lot of the words, a lot of the prefixes, some of the prefixes and some of the suffixes that, have silent letters now or have nondescript meaning or they actually modified the way you said the word before.
Interesting.
That was the whole reason those spellings were different. But we went through consonant and vowel shifts all the way through into the Enlightenment era, and that eliminated most of them. So we got a lot of homophones, or is it allophones? I forget which word it is.
They sound
Allophones-
the same.
They sound the same, which I think is they sound the same but are spelled differently, and I think that means they're homophones.
Yeah, they're
Right.
homophones, right?
So-
Because phone you hear, right?
Right. Yeah, so like the phonology of English shifted, but the spelling didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Which made the printing press's invention at its particular time particularly awkward because it locked in all of those spellings. So if the printing press had come after, we would have had spellings locked in that were already shifted.
And
If it had
that's
come
why the French have
before-
a council.
This is actually that's actually kind of true.
Yeah.
Like the whole reason that some of the European languages have like language academies
Yes.
is actually to account for this.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I mean, because we're not trying to have two different spellings of rendezvous, okay? Or pronunciations. There's only
Well,
one.
to be fair, the French also have screwed up in big ways because, like, lots of their spelling with the silent letters did used to be pronounced stuff, or they were shifted spellings based on when they were loaned, or someone screwed up the spellings after it was like telephoned figuratively. Like, there are cases like this where the words don't make sense because people were not literate, and so they just when literacy
right.
started coming,
They made it
there,
up. Yeah.
they made it up as they went along. Same is true for English. Same is true for a lot of
Yeah,
languages.
absolutely. Yep. No, hands
The
down.
difference was that for English, ironically, English benefited from stabilization and also was hurt by it. So there was one attempt to fix this, and that was met by a guy in Connecticut named Noah Webster.
Hey, is that the
so-
Webster guy of the dictionary?
The dictionary
muted.
guy.
Me?
We can't hear now. We can hear you.
You
Oh.
were for a minute. Yeah, I don't know why.
Yeah.
Oh, but that's the dictionary guy.
Yeah.
Yes, the dictionary guy.
Okay, yeah,
Noah
cool.
Webster. So Noah Webster did something very interesting. So he personally believed that with America separating from the United Kingdom, that it should have its own ownership of the language. but he wanted it to be grounded in rationale and for lack of a better argumentation, science of history and stuff like that. So he did a ton of research into identifying all the words that were in common use, putting them down, and then went and looked at their histories. And that is where he started coming up with pronunciations, spelling choices, things like that. The reason why, for example, I know people like to use the word color and how they're spelled differently between the UK and the US, right?
Color.
Or without, right?
Yep. Color.
Fun fact, the American spelling is both older and was the predominant form before. And it is also the closest to the Latin word that it comes from.
Well, I'd also heard that that weird northeastern kind of accent was closer to the original accent that was spoken in the UK in the first place.
Yeah.
And then they're the ones that deviated. They're the weird ones.
Right. So what happened was after we split from the United Kingdom, they actually went through, of course, Victorianism and all that other fun stuff. But more importantly, Oxford didn't finish their first edition of the dictionary until the very beginning of the 20th century. It took them almost 100 years to make it. But they had intermediate editions. To be clear, Oxford published a dictionary before that. They just didn't publish the first complete edition until I think it's like 1912 or something like that. I forget what.
Interesting.
Something like that. But like the point being that they went through their own shifts based on classism. So like, for example, the Frenchy versions of words, as I like to call them, were introduced by the higher class to distinguish themselves from the common peoples and stuff like that. Alternate pronunciations and spellings and things like that. You know, I don't know if it's true or not, but I remember hearing from one of my old literature teachers that one of the reasons why IZE, which is actually closer to the roots of how all these words were supposed to be spelled, got dropped in British English was because they thought it was too harsh and common. And so they switched it for softer ISE.
Yeah.
Because that's what French does, because they don't use Z.
Oh, really? They don't have Z at all?
I mean, I think Z is actually technically recognized in their alphabet, but I believe it's just a loan word letter, just like W. They don't use W. They don't use Z. Those are loan word letters.
Well, they also they have that weird guttural sound that you do in the back.
Well, yeah, there's that too. They've got all the throaty sounds.
Yeah.
But like, for example, W exists in the Latin alphabet primarily for Germanic languages.
Yeah.
The W sound doesn't exist in Romance languages. And prior to the introduction of the W, which is what it originally was, or the double V letter that we now call W, it used to be done that people would just use a double diagram, would write just two U's or two V's next to each other to represent the alternate sound. And then it would just be lost when you were reading it, or you'd have to know that that was a thing.
Right.
So it was essentially a digraph that got turned into a letter in its own right. And that didn't even happen until like the 15th century. So like the whole way that, like if you look at the English alphabet, I think it's like, of the 26 letters, I think like 3 of them are actually for loan words. Like Q was imported, while Q existed, even in, I think, the old Latin alphabet, the original one, was only used for loan words, even in Latin. Because
Q always gave me
the letter, they used the chi letter, which is what we now call the letter C, to represent the K sound.
Yeah, CK and Q were all weird to me because they all made the same noise. And it's like, why do you need 3 letters to say the same thing? We could just have one letter to have that sound, and then the other letter could sound some other way.
Well, they didn't mean the same thing in the beginning. That's the point.
Well, right.
Right?
But we kept them. We could have taken out the garbage.
Well, Q goes all the way back to Phoenician, right? Like, so it's most commonly known as the Quf, which is it exists in Arabic, and it's a common leading sound for words in Arabic. So like, or any Semitic language. And so if you have Semitic words coming into a European language, you need something to distinguish that. And English has this interesting attribute in which, for some godforsaken reason, we try to preserve the spelling of words that we import, even when it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Oh, fun fact, the word schedule is actually because is said this way in American English because Noah Webster figured out that it actually is derived from a Greek word, and SCH when it's transliterated, the SCH tri-letter combo is actually matching the Greek SK sound, and that's what happens when it's translated like when it's pulled out from Greek into languages that use the Latin alphabet. So it's never supposed to be sha. So the British schedule is just 100% wrong because
Totally
because
schedule.
the word is actually Greek, and they don't do sha for these in
Man,
Greek.
if anybody makes it to the back of this that lives in the UK or speaks that way, we're gonna get so many comments. It's actually color with a U. That's right.
No, well,
And
color with the
flavor
U
with a
comes
U.
from reborrowing it from French when they didn't need to. It's a false borrowing,
Couleur.
right? Like, yeah, it's a false borrowing from French because we already had the word color in English from Latin from the first time we borrowed it from French. I guess actually went back when we were beaten into the ground and made to adopt French stuff. So, like, fun fact, we've also adopted words from French multiple times.
It was just a
in
poker
different ways.
game where people were like,
Right.
I'll raise you the word color. And they were like, all right. And then you lose. And now you have to spell it with a U. Ha, sucker.
Right. But yeah, like we've done these kinds of borrowings and things like that multiple times. And sometimes it gets a little funny because we borrow the same concept from different words at different points in the language's history, and so we get different things. So yeah.
That's so awesome.
Anyway, taking all the way back to your pixel question.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, let's go back there.
And that's why we spell it with an X.
Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh, so X is also a loan word character primarily.
Makes
We
sense.
don't.
Well,
we don't
everybody
really
pronounces
use-
that one different. It's so awesome.
Well, yeah, because X is a weird letter, and it was like not. It doesn't have a sound. It doesn't have a consistent sound across all the different languages that used it.
Definitely not.
It was dropped from Latin and added to Latin multiple times.
Yeah.
And so it's just strange as a letter.
Yeah.
So
It could be
there's
it could
a
be
bunch.
cha, it could be S, it could be H, it could be all
It could be
kinds of
Sha.
stuff. Yeah.
It could be Sha.
Yep. Yep.
Like it is in I think Slavic languages, I think.
It
The letter
is in
represents
when you pull the Nahuatl words and use them in Spanish. That's they get
the Native
ja
American
as well.
languages are
Yep.
often that.
Yep.
Anyway, back to the pixel thing.
Yeah.
So the pixel. You were asking about 7A versus 7.
Right.
Strictly speaking, there isn't that much of a difference,
There
but
isn't.
like I think RAM is the big one, and that actually might be the most meaningful.
That's true.
I'm looking
like-
at an Android Central chart. They have the same processor. They both have 8 gigs of RAM. The Pixel 7 can go bigger in storage, but the 7A
storage,
has
not
a
RAM.
higher PPI display. But I mean,
Look,
same
the bigger display.
The 7A
It's
has a
physically bigger.
slightly smaller, but kept the same resolution, giving you a higher pixel per inch.
Which is fine.
Honestly, I wouldn't buy any Pixel 7 device.
Oh, see?
No.
All right. You and Dan and the other guy on the internet are going to have fighting words. Why?
Well, I bought a Pixel 7A and I didn't like it.
Oh. Okay. Wait. So,
But like I can.
All right, yeah. So let's back
I
up though.
consider-
Leo's just looking for something kind of cheap,
Oh yeah, no.
cheap-ish, so he can
There's a couple
experiment with Android stuff.
So there's a couple of reasons why I wouldn't pick any Pixel 7 device.
okay. Tell
One, I think it's a too old.
me. Okay. Point taken.
Like when you're
it's still
buying an Android
supported, though.
device, sure. So one of the things I try to think about when it comes to buying any device, but especially with mobile devices, is think about in the context of warranty services, parts management, and software updates.
This is exactly how I buy my actual daily driver phone. Yes.
Right, same here.
Yeah,
So like this is actually why I don't hang back generations unless I really have to.
Yeah.
It's because when you hang back generations, you run a bunch of risks. Now, for the most part, if you don't care about any of these things, it's fine. But like from my point of view, if like it's going to be a daily driver, that means I want to maximize the beneficial outcomes from it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So-
like if he was going to turn this into his daily driver, I would say absolutely
Get
get the 9.
Yeah.
Right.
And I
Yeah.
would.
Now, the second factor for why I typically don't go back a generation or two, and this counts even for whether it's a daily driver or an experimental one. If you are actually seriously considering the device or platform or whatever, you want to have the best face forward. And in many cases, older generations are not necessarily the best face of what you, or rather, it is not representative of what the platform is like today. I bought a Pixel 7a when it was representative of the Pixel ecosystem.
Okay.
And I still didn't like it, but at least I got a good footing of what it is.
All right. So what didn't you like about it at the time that it was the flagship Pixel phone?
So there were two things I didn't like. One, I didn't like that it was so fat as a phone. That actually became slightly problematic because pants pockets being like, I got worried that I might like put too much force on my phone.
Oh, to get it in your pocket?
Yeah. Well, because I also put a screen protector on it. Screen protector is nowhere near as durable as the actual screen on the device.
Yeah,
on purpose,
I would like to not have shards of glass in my leg.
Sticking in your leg. Yeah, that's a good idea. So question though, before you go too far, did you have the 7 or the 7A?
7A.
Oh, so you had the smaller of the two.
I had the smaller of the two. It was one because it was cheaper, and two because objectively on every other context it has better specs.
Yeah, I get you. I was just curious, size-wise, which one you were.
And also, the third reason is a dumb one. It came in the color I wanted.
Orange.
Yeah, they have a lot of colors.
Yes, exactly.
Dude.
You got it. I got it in the coral color.
Dude, look, I have it. This is
color. It actually looked pretty good. I like the color.
This is exactly the one that I want to get. So like these are the ones that I was choosing from, and I'm like, yeah, the orange one, easy. So
it was not much of it was a no-brainer for me. It's like, okay, this is a nice color. The specs are objectively good. This is a decent representation of the Pixel ecosystem. Because I was seriously considering switching from Samsung to Pixel. Because I'm a daily driving Android user. I've been using Android for almost 15 years.
Yeah.
So
it's been a while for me too. Yeah.
Yeah. Basically since it existed. Whenever that was. Because I started with like the first Samsung Galaxy in 2009.
I started with the original Android, the original Droid that you could like slide up and had the physical keyboard.
The Motorola Droid.
Oh yeah, man. Oh, dude, I loved that phone. That phone.
That means you were on Verizon.
Oh yes, it was. Yeah, I was at the time.
Yeah. So like, anyway, so I was considering because lots of people it's like, oh, you shouldn't use Samsung. You should use Pixel because Pixel's got the best. All this other.
It's the Google one. Ooh.
Yeah.
It's the premier stock Android experience or something like that.
Absolutely.
I was like, okay, sure, all right.
Unfettered by the chains of carriers and everybody else. Yeah.
Okay, that part I actually do firmly believe is like not being able to avoid buying the phone from the carrier is honestly a step up.
Oh yeah, look. I mean, it's unlocked.
Yeah.
I ain't dealing with that.
Yeah. So the phone I did buy, I bought it fully unlocked at full price from the manufacturer.
That's exactly how I do it, and it hurts a little bit, but I appreciate it every day.
It hurts a lot.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of money on this phone, but it's my daily driver, so you know it's worth it.
Yep. Exactly.
But also, like, I think about how long I'm going to be before I replace the phone again. My Galaxy S10, which I was considering replacing with a Pixel, that thing I bought in 2019, right after it came out, and I only replaced it this year because security updates end pretty much next year. And so otherwise I would have kept using it because I liked it and it was performing very well. I like the hardware quality from Samsung phones. So keeping that in mind, I thought about, okay, is this a phone I'd be happy with for the next 5+ years?
Yeah.
And that actually changes a lot of the way I think about things. So the first is, do I trust the manufacturer? Google, yes, I trusted them. As a manufacturer, I trust.
Who actually
their
builds the
portfolio
device?
is good. Their software is pretty good. They have a strong hardware team. The build quality has been second to none in every price tier that they've operated in. I also have had Nexus phones before and other reference phone designs from them. They're all good. So I am confident in them as a vendor, just like I'm equally confident in them in Samsung as a vendor for that reason.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've also drove LGs and a few others, and there's some that I would say they aren't part of the phone market anymore, and there's a good reason that they aren't.
There's a good reason, yeah.
So So there's that's one part of the decision tree, because like I also have to trust that if there's something wrong, that they will do something about it, right? So the third thing is, am I happy with the baseline software experience that it gives me? Because at the end of the day, I have to be okay with what they're giving me. If I'm using it as a daily driver, I actually tend to not intensely modify the device because I need warranty services. I also want everything to work and all that other stuff. Now, when it becomes my cast off, when I replace it with a new daily driver, that's a different story. And I also plan for that too. Is it hackable? Is it moddable? Because if it's hackable and moddable, or is there interest in the hacking and modding community to cover this device? So as long as those are positive, that frees up a lot of doors down the road. I like being able to screw around with the devices when they're not important anymore.
Well, and that's where Leo's at.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I'm in the second category now.
Yeah, so Pixels and Samsungs are great for this purpose. A lot of the other ones are more of a mixed bag.
Samsungs didn't used to be.
Okay.
Samsungs didn't used to be. They turned a leaf because there was a time.
I know. Ever since they started selling the devices themselves, they've been much better about this.
Okay. Yeah.
I think I'm three generations deep on Motorola phones now. And
Motorola's the same way. Like, they're pretty good about this now, especially since they've been owned by Lenovo for like 7 years now.
Yeah.
So, I would probably say, like, the thing that turned me off to Pixel was, one, a hardware thing, and two, a software thing. The hardware thing was that it was too fat for my pockets with the screen protector on. I think without the screen protector, it probably would have just been barely fine.
So you're talking about that super thin glass.
No. It's an actual glass. Like, it's like maybe...
I mean, like
millimeter thick.
Yeah, right.
This way, right? This is what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Not thickness this way.
No, who calls that thickness?
Well, I mean, it's thick. It's holding in my hand, right?
Let me say the Z depth.
Okay,
depth of the
I've never heard that in my life. Talking to anybody that isn't super nerdy about phones.
Just asking. I'm just curious.
Just trying to we're going to do X, Y, and Z coordinates, it's the Z coordinates.
That's
okay.
Z depth.
Is that big? All right. No, I'm on it.
Get it right.
Look, I also am like the child of math people. I know how my coordinate planes work.
No, I agree with that. Yeah, I'm good.
So we're talking that 0.5 millimeter thick of thickness made the phone too thick.
Yes.
I don't even notice that. But it's because I have a case on the phone, I guess.
Well, the case supplants this, right? Like the case sets a
saying,
finite
Zook.
boundary of thickness. You don't. The phone's dimensions do not matter anymore.
Right.
They don't. Yeah.
It's the case's dimension. But the screen protector doesn't bother me at all because like the case usually raises up slightly taller than the.
Right. Again, it's the case dimensions are what matter in that
exactly
case.
Right.
So, but like I just had like that simple rubberized cover for the back, just enough to make it so that the bump no longer was the bump was now flush with the back of the phone.
That's cool. Yeah.
Because that's another thing I really dislike about all the modern Android phones is the freaking camera bump makes me nervous as crap.
Yes.
Like, so my phone now alerts me. It's like, hey, your camera sensor is a little cloudy. Please clean it up before taking pictures. Damn it.
I can't. It's all scratched up.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't get an alert. Anyway. It's just dirty. I just have to deal with it.
My phone tells me when I try to take pictures. It's like, crap.
That's kind of cool.
But like, anyway, so I think about the depth because like I put a screen protector on and then have the thin silicone covering to just even out the back. And it just makes it thick enough that I'm worried about it being in my pocket.
Huh.
Because the pressure, because depending on which way I put it in my pocket, I could put it the glass facing my leg, or I could have the back facing the leg. If I wind up putting the glass facing my leg, I start being slightly worried about whether I'm going to just break the screen protector glass.
Yes.
I actually genuinely would not be worried about the actual screen's glass.
You don't get the 800 pack from China?
Yeah, but you don't want to stick it in your leg.
No, they? I've never had them break like that. I mean, I thought about that.
I have seen it, and it is painful.
Wow.
They turn
I have
into
also
shards.
seen people
Yeah.
continue to use it and have their ears bloody and cut up
Oh.
because they just
Well,
refuse to
that's
deal with
just-
it. And I'm like, that's just stupid.
Yeah, I mean, you're at a point now where you've got like literal shards of glass or whatever. Like, rip the thing off and run with it naked for a little bit till you can pop another one on there. You're just being silly at this point.
I
Yeah.
agree with you, but like, people are stupid sometimes.
You're
Yeah,
gonna scratch
but-
up the glass on your phone with the glass
You
that's
can scratch up your ear.
that
Yeah,
heals.
well,
that
that's no
heals.
good
The
either.
phone doesn't heal.
No, but
That
the
won't
phone can
buff
be
out.
replaced. Your body might not.
I'll be all right. I mean, I don't need the whole thing.
Don't be Van Gogh on me. Like,
But that's why I'm so artistic. That's it. It's because I was the guy with the
Anyway,
phone on the ear and it was
anyway.
bleeding.
the depth of the phone worried me when I added it on top of that. That was the
That makes
hardware
sense.
thing.
Okay.
The software thing was I absolutely, totally hate the Pixel launcher.
You can replace that though, right? That's an Android thing.
Sure, and I did, but that doesn't make me happy about it because, like, a third-party launcher is not one that's guaranteed to live forever. Like,
Is Nova still a thing?
it is, thankfully, but
See-
like one of the others that I used to use wasn't.
Oh, see, you just trust Nova because they've been around for like 600 years and they'll just be fine. They'll be fine.
Leo, we're talking about why I don't pick it.
That's true. I'm just telling you to compromise and go with Nova.
Well, I still own said Pixel. It's my backup phone, and it does in fact have Nova on it.
Uh-huh.
But that doesn't. But if it was just a software thing, it would have been fine.
The
problem is it's the software and the hardware made it so it was just a little much.
Yeah, I can get behind that. That's fine. And I think if I got me one, I don't even think I'd put a case on it. I'd probably put a screen protector on it, just on the off chance that I like drop a tool
I would
on it.
recommend the screen protector simply because, since you can't buy the 7A from Google anymore,
Right.
you can't get it with the accidental damage protection.
Now, here's a question. So in iOS, you now have screen mirroring. So if you have a Mac, you could basically just point and click on your phone and do stuff.
Yep.
Does Google have that?
It's part of the continuity services.
Oh, it's fantastic. Like, it started with Sidecar, and that was awesome because you could go from using your mouse on your Mac to, oh, look, the mouse is on the iPhone now or the iPad, and now you can go backwards with the phone into the anyway. So does Android support stuff like that? Can I do that with like a Windows or a Linux machine? Because I'm thinking
Yes.
longevity here, right? Like if I break the screen on the phone, yet the phone still works, maybe I could just continue using it in a little weird windowed mode on the desktop.
Well, you can.
Ooh,
You need to have some kind of Android Cast, Google Cast, or Mirror Cast client
cool.
to be able to do that. But this has actually been a feature Android's had for like, I don't know, 6-7 years.
Nice. All right.
Samsung pioneered it with the Dex stuff where you could actually plug it in.
That was going to be one of those features that could have pulled me away from iOS because I wasn't ingrained as I am now
Dex
at the
is still
time.
around. My
Yeah.
phone supports Dex, and I just bought it.
Really?
Yeah,
I thought Dex died.
No.
It's still there.
It's still there. Dex is an important. So Samsung Dex is still part of
Windows
of the
phone
mobile
link.
device of mobile devices. Like, it is included on all of the new tablets, and it is on all of the brand new Galaxy phones. It can now even be used wirelessly. It used to be that you had to plug it in, but it can now be done wirelessly.
Oh.
And it converts your Android UI into a multitasking desktop-oriented UI when you do it.
Okay. So that might be something that might pull me away from the Pixel because the Pixel doesn't have exactly that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it does?
No, it doesn't.
Oh, okay.
I was agreeing with you.
Sorry. All right. Okay, so right, so that makes
In
the
Android 15, I'm not sure. I have to double check, but I know that the Google folks are working on expanding form factors for Android's UI.
Mhm.
Principally for foldables, but I think it will also work for convergence in the future. There's also the whole Androidification of Chrome OS. And
Yes.
that will have its own impacts too. So as Chrome OS moves away from the standard Linux stack and Wayland and all that other things to using Android, Surface Flinger and the rest of the Android stack, that will change the way Android works because that UI will incorporate features for showing off Chrome OS.
cool. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I always wanted like a fully featured Chromebook, like a heavy one, because they had or was it Samsung? They had a Pixel too, and it was a laptop Chromebook thing.
Oh, you
They
need a
did.
Pixel Books.
Yeah, like I kind of wanted one of those.
So the Pixel Books, there was also the Pixel. Yeah, so.
But I want it to
you
look
could
like
do-
this. Are you seeing this on the screen right now? Check this
Well, I
out.
have to go look at the screen. I'm only in Discord right now.
So if you see this, I want that
Let me go.
laptop. You
Hold on.
remember back in the late 90s, early 2000s when the Nintendo 64
Oh,
was
this.
winning, and they came out with an entire line of it was just a fad then. Like the phones were translucent, the controllers were translucent, the toys were
And they
everything
got
was
rid of
translucent.
all of the ways for you to tell how the UI worked.
Oh, yeah, that
yeah.
too. But this laptop is I want this laptop. Framework needs to come out with a thing. They actually have a keyboard like that. They sell the keyboard and it's just translucent.
Do you know how expensive it is to make translucent plastic?
Money would be no object if they made this for me.
Are you sure you're willing to spend $15,000 on a laptop?
There's no way. There's no way. Nintendo made the controllers and they charged the same amount for them. There's no way. Not the components on the inside. Like those can still be looking like components. But just the chassis.
How much durability do you want?
Not a lot because I want it to be translucent.
Okay, then it can be $3,000.
Oh yeah, that's the trade. I know I'm asking for something out of the norm. But because I want to
The main problem with translucent stuff is typically you are trading away durability.
That's right. That's why that phone was $9.99. They know you'd be back for another. Yep. Absolutely. Yep. And whenever it rang, the little light would blink, 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 blink.
But yeah, like I wound up picking the Samsung Galaxy again for my new daily driver.
Okay.
I actually went all the way to the top end, because I haven't done that in forever, and I got the Galaxy S24 Ultra.
Ooh,
wow!
How much was that? S20.
Well, it was also during a pre-order, so I got like the top end storage for the price of the mid-range.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
So
from $12.99. Goodness.
Yes.
Okay. That's not actually. That's going rate for.
It's actually fairly okay. Like at but like scroll down, select the 1 terabyte storage.
Okay.
Wow,
and pick it in the dusty orange color.
Okay.
See, you're an orange guy. I like that. It's me too.
Well, I would have picked red if they offered it, but they didn't. So that was the next best I could go with. So that was the one I got. And
at about 1,600.
1,700.
At about 1,700.
But that is the price it is now. When I bought it, scroll back up, go select the storage configuration for 512 gigs.
Mm-hmm. It started at $14.19.
So I paid that price. I paid that price for 1 terabyte.
Wait.
Okay. Well, that's a good deal. So
they were just running a sale on it.
Yeah. They were running a pre-order sale.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay.
Yeah, so I did that, and it was like, okay, well, at that price, this is actually a fairly bloody good deal, so I just went and did it.
Yeah.
Sure.
So far, I've been pretty happy with the device. It is nice having a pen on my phone.
Yep. Yeah, the stylus. Mm-hmm.
The stylus works really well. Holy crap. You know the thing I was most impressed with? it can handle my cursive.
Oh, that is cool.
Oh, yeah.
I write in cursive by default. Thank the Montessori school for beating that into me.
Mm.
So,
Well, they beat it into me too, and that's why I don't do it anymore.
Right, exactly. That's why I
also why
print
I don't
now.
write that much anymore either.
I actually got compliments
that.
all the time on my handwriting, but I do always still default to print because I like it better, I guess. I don't know. I don't really know why.
Well,
that's what shows up
when I
on your
was learning
screen.
how to write, they basically forced me to write in cursive.
Oh, they did
so,
us too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so my forming memories of like muscle memory for writing is cursive, not print. And so when I write in print, it is always awkward. It's very clear. Everyone can read it. That part's fine. But I feel weird writing in print.
Uh-huh.
So that is a problem because increasingly people don't know how to read cursive anymore.
Oh, I can read it just fine. I can write it too. I can write it.
He's talking.
I have met people who don't know that it's a writing system.
He's talking about the youngins. He's talking about the youngins.
I understand. Well, listen. So one of my children, I mean, so they're just for context. One's 21 and one is 18. One of them does know how to write cursive.
The 21-year-old.
Yeah, she learned, and the 18-year-old did not.
Yeah, they apparently stopped.
That's 3 years apart.
Cursive. They apparently stopped teaching cursive entirely in 2010.
If you go back in Star Wars lore, this is exactly why Anakin went and took out those younglings.
I guess
that
so.
Is not why.
I don't think so.
It's part of why. It's part of the reason.
No, it isn't. Cursive is not a reason to go do that time travel.
They don't even have cursive in Star Wars.
Well, no, I think they use a symbol system.
Yeah,
something like that,
which is pretty cool looking. But yeah, no, I just wanted to be able to talk about Anakin for a minute.
I'm sure you did. But yeah, like I was impressed because my cursive worked.
Yeah, that is nice.
Like completely. It read like I wrote like whole sentences. I wrote text messages.
That's cool.
And it worked.
That is nice. It's a lot more comfortable to write than it is to type.
I actually like I can go a lot faster when I'm writing.
Absolutely.
In cursive.
In cursive, yes.
Okay, so this actually this brings up a question because I took when you said and it can understand my cursive, I took that to mean you're bad at writing cursive. But the way that you're explaining it, that's not what you mean.
No,
you're good at this.
The computer understood cursive.
Are computers bad at understanding cursive?
Oh yeah,
typically, yeah. I don't think it's a thing. Yeah,
really.
Cursive. Think about it. Think about cursive. Cursive is hard for a few reasons. First of all, it promotes non-distinct shaping of letters.
I'm gonna have to test this on the iPad.
Letters are connected. Cursive is connected.
Yeah, you're right. The letters are connected in words, right?
Yeah.
Right.
There's no spacing.
There's no spacing. There's no distinctive shaping is far lower in cursive than it is in print.
Yep.
And yes, I know Windows' handwriting recognition.
Yeah.
That's a whole
Windows is bad at a lot of things.
We'll just
add that to the list.
That's a whole nother. Yeah.
But
hey, Adam.
Cursive also, there is like 100 different styles of cursive, and each individual person, the way that they write, is informed by their dexterity and mobility, and that changes the writing style. It changes it for print too, but it's way more pronounced in cursive. People who have low mobility, their cursive letters have much more distinctive patterns than those that have high dexterity and mobility, where you tend to have more swooping loops and less distinctive letters. You go look back at old writing by people who are professional writers, and you can't bloody understand what the letters are, but you know enough of the context to figure out the word anyway.
That's how my English teacher was. It was fancy as hell, but I couldn't read it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, right? And that there's actually legit cursive styles that are based on minimizing the loops, which is essentially the only distinctive feature you have in cursive writing.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that my phone could pick up my cursive handwriting style and deal with it and turn it into the correct writing thing and then suggest that it's not a real word, it's just an alternative is actually freaking good.
Yeah.
Because I write jargon in my phone, and I promise you, most of those words ain't in the dictionary. The fact that it faithfully captures it, then suggests that I'm doing it wrong. I'm not doing it wrong, but it follows that sequence means that it is actually very good at handwriting recognition.
Yeah. It is API, Google. Calm down. So, okay, the only two writing questions that I have, and this really informs my opinion about a person, is in cursive or in print, when you write an I, when you do the little dot, is it a heart?
What?
No.
Is it a heart?
No, it's a dot.
Okay.
It's a dot.
All right. And that, again,
most of the time I'll do a dot, but if I'm feeling fancy, I'll just make it a circle.
Okay, all right. See,
Yeah,
but there's flair to it. Do you add flair sometimes to your eyes?
I don't add flair to mine.
Okay, see,
so like I'm also a firm believer
Those
that
are the last things I do.
I'm a firm believer that if you're taking the time to write, you should take the time to style. So
there we go. Okay, see, now that's what I'm talking about. That informs my opinion of a person. Dan is very just detailed, straight to the point, oriented. Exactly. And Neal's gonna give me some flair when we.
That's true.
Okay.
Well, I mean that really probably does speak to my personality.
This does not
fairly accurate,
right? And this doesn't say that you aren't detail oriented. This just means that you'll flare it up a little bit sometimes. And
yeah.
Okay.
So the reason is, so first of all, like if I'm taking the time to write something, there's got to be a bloody good reason for doing it. And second of all, if I'm writing, like actually writing, it means that there's supposed to be a personal touch associated with it.
There it is, the personal. Okay. All right. So the other question that I have to ask is,
I have two in my signature, right?
Right.
I mean, my full name, I have two I's.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
And so I do not get fancy with that.
There's no Daniel.
So I'm not a fancy.
Well, I don't do fancy. I don't do weird things to my signature. I don't really need the IRS to flip out over my signature. That is not necessary.
Honestly, I don't think anybody cares anymore. But yeah.
All right. So the other question, and Dan, this is another one that you would have an informed decision on, Neal. So would you? The A. Now only in print. Now I know, Neal, you're not much of a printer, but if you were to write in print,
I write the A, but I write the block letter version. I actually have a fancy version of the block letter A, which turns it into a cursive style.
Okay, so all right. What I'm asking is, so Dan, for you, is it an O with a tail at the bottom, or is it the one where it goes? You have to like come down and then swoop around, and it's like that fancy kind of script.
Oh, you do the traditional cursive A.
I do the traditional cursive A, but when I print it, I do not. It's probably more.
It's weird.
It's probably. I guess it still kind of does, but it looks more block like. It doesn't have the swoop to it.
Rather than me doing all this weird stuff, we're gonna skip all this and go straight to the drawing.
Look, you can actually see it. Look on the webpage right now. Both A's are present. Let's look at this. So, do you write it closer to the A in Ultra?
A in Ultra.
Or the A in Titanium down here?
No, more like Ultra.
No way would I write it like the second A in any case at all effort. That's too much work.
Okay, see, all right, and I agree. I tend to also write with the A in Ultra, but sometimes when I'm feeling fancy, when I'm like, I'm writing in print, but I got a fever for cursive right now. Sometimes I'll do the fancy A. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I could never pull that off.
Yeah, I do. Sometimes. So you just never know. But you know that I was feeling fancy that day. If you ever see my handwriting and you see that A, you're like, oh, he was fancy that day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Matt agrees with me.
Speaking of fancy,
did we lose you?
Oh no! Come on.
Okay, you were feeling fancy. I thought you walked away. You're like, I'm so fancy, I'm out.
Now he's out.
You made me bust out the glitter. It's over there. I'll be right back.
Hey. Just like Fonz.
Yeah. Well, in my Discord handle, my actual Discord name is it's Leo, but it's with the AY instead of the EYY. That's my next question, actually. How do you spell A?
Not EH? I guess that's eh.
Adam. I was gonna read that like you were driving and someone just cut you off. Hey, damn.
Adam.
Okay.
All right. So Neal's streaming here.
Oh, hang on. Okay, this is gonna break on
Got
the
his,
stream.
got his, I don't know. He's got his whiteboard up. That looks cool.
Hang on. Show non-video. Watch stream. Here we go. All right. So now we can see this on the live stream now. Hang on. Get this a little bit bigger. That's just that's a star. That's fancy.
That's awesome, though.
And this is on his Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra.
No, it isn't. It's on a tablet that's connected to my desktop.
Okay.
Same thing, though.
This is actually another question. You bring up another good question, Mark. So, is your question mark a backwards S always? What is that snake thing?
Well, let me tell you that sometimes...
That's a question mark that has the attached dot at the bottom. It's like Alice in Wonderland, but you're looking down the tornado.
Yeah, my question mark's less S-like.
My question mark, and I don't know where it came from. It used to be the backwards S, but now it is rigidly the way you see it in text. It's the backwards C, straight down, dot. It is the question mark, and there's no question.
Normally, I do the backwards S thing to actually draw an exclamation point, not a question mark.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, so like if I do it like this, right?
Uh-huh.
Or it's actually more like an 8, I guess.
Oh.
But yeah, that's usually how I do exclamation points.
That feels like you're writing an exclamation mark, but you're putting an exclamation mark on the exclamation mark. You're like,
fair.
Extra.
Extra exclamatory.
That's an exclamation mark.
Exclamation mark.
Like it's part 2. Like, listen, we're going extra hard.
That's a new one.
Have some. That was the Duke Nukem in me.
So that's a Q, right?
Have some zest for wife.
That is how I...
Okay. Yeah, I think Matt's got it right? Like Neal's question mark is a friendly way to do a question mark, and mine's very much like a business mark. It's like the business.
So this is actually me writing an exclamation point, not a question mark.
Yep, I gotcha.
What?
So it says have some that So I'll do it. I'll do it unfancy.
That's an infinity symbol turned up on its side, so it's la.
Well, I mean, I guess that's.
He didn't put the heart on the I. Did you notice?
Oh,
I noticed.
He didn't.
I was watching for it. I knew it was
He wrote
coming.
his F backwards too.
Which one?
No, I didn't.
He started at the bottom.
Oh.
Oh yeah. Well, yes. It depends on where it starts or where it ends.
Hold on. Wait. Write an F.
Write an F?
Yeah, just an F by itself.
Lowercase or uppercase?
Lowercase print.
Lower.
Okay. Okay.
That's backwards?
Yeah. Yeah, he started at the bottom.
You don't do that?
At the top? No,
Yeah, so some people do it this way.
Totally.
You can, yeah.
Dan,
so
I'm sorry to tell you, but you're wrong.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm kidding.
I probably am.
I do it like
always
this.
Start at the top.
Right, like.
Yeah,
no, wait.
yeah.
Oh
so
my
that's
God.
cursive, right? Exactly. Yes.
I have
so you go up and then down.
I don't have a pen.
Yeah.
I need to write. I don't know how I write it now. Actually, I'm confused.
And then, of course, there's...
I don't have a pin.
Yeah. Yeah. See, I
And
would start
then
that one at the top too.
there's...
Yep. Interesting. See, you started your cursive one at the top, essentially.
Well, yes. Because it's entirely based on... Like, so my stroke order is based on how I want to maximize continuance rather than
Right.
maximizing the shape.
The cursive has infiltrated your brain like a brainworm.
Again, this is how I...
I guess
Remember,
so.
I learned how to write in cursive first.
Yeah. And print
Yeah,
is very much
okay.
that way. My print can, if I'm in a hurry, my print can turn cursive real quick. Like there's
There are some letters
yeah.
that I rarely use the cursive form for. Like, so for example, I don't use this very much because sometimes people think that I'm writing an M.
Yeah, meal.
Oh,
So,
yes, absolutely.
Your meal.
N's and
so I
M's
do
are
this
not good.
instead.
Okay. But that breaks continuance, therefore, now you have to reset.
Yeah. Then I do this.
Okay.
And then it's fine.
It's meal. Look at that.
Yeah, so N's and M's are silly, I feel in
See,
cursive.
it's a good thing
like-
because when I say meal, it kind of sounds like Neal, and you don't ever actually really know the difference, and I could play it off either way.
So, like, this is what an M is supposed to look like in cursive, right? So,
I always thought that was too many humps.
like,
it's not.
It's not. That's actually correct.
Oh no,
The
I
problem
agree.
is-
I agree. The teachers told me. That's too many M's. I mean, too many humps.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
problem with
It's
this-
silly.
The problem with this letter form is that, in theory, this letter form should actually cut off about here for here to be able to tell the difference. If you look at formalized descriptions, this whole half part of the tail is not there. However, I've never met a person who actually writes their cursive M's and N's with that tail shorter. Because it is a pain in the butt to write it that short.
They just be fancy.
Sandwich two M's in your name with an O and an N. You know,
And then it's horrible.
yeah, it's great.
Oh wow, you're just throwing humps all in there. Just
Yeah, you already don't know what it is.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's fantastic, isn't it? Yeah, there it is. You're close,
dude.
Yeah.
At a certain because the way that my signature is, I mean, just a couple scribbles, man. You'd be like, "Are you a doctor?" And I'll be like, whatever.
Might
anyway,
as well be.
yours I would have given up years ago. It would have just been an S-I scribble S. You know,
now you know why I gave up on cursive.
There you go.
The only reason I still use this letter is because
it's
practically
fun.
Everyone recognizes it.
I don't recognize it. That's a bass clef. That's a treble clef right there.
Are you serious? You don't recognize this?
It's a G. I know it is. I mean, come on. That's a treble clef. Look at it.
Well, yes, it's a treble clef, but also because it's the bloody General Mills logo, everyone knows how this...
Right. Oh, yeah.
Look, guys, it's a G.
Kinda.
I mean, look at it. That looks closer to a G than that.
It's got
not that is incorrect in any way whatsoever. That is a cursive G. I agree. I'm just saying, treble clef looks more like a G.
So that's how.
Look
I
at that
my
and disagree.
Last name.
That's cool.
You can't disagree about that.
Or
That's true.
I will do it a different way, right? So.
Yeah, it's
like
Matt's got too many humps.
Because I typically write my first name with I write my first name with the capital N in print form, and then write the rest of it that way. Right. I typically mimic that for my last name as well.
That makes sense.
I prefer that G. That just looks cool.
I do too.
But then you also can see I put some flair into it. Like the tail from the capital letter encompasses the whole word.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, you could just like smash the G and the N together. It'd be like a logo, easy.
You mean like...
Uh-oh, here it is. He's going to pull up. This is the 4000 by 4000 SVG. Yeah. So you add some embellishments to it. Uh-oh.
Yeah, trademark that now.
NG, always forward.
Yeah, but it didn't look as nice as, the proto, VL logo that I did eventually.
Oh, yeah.
And that one was cooler. because it had two effects. You could see it as arrows moving up in the shape. Then you would also be able to see an opening eclipse. You could also see a bird or a face or something like that. There's a lot of interesting things you can do with geometry when the symbols are very plain, whereas my name doesn't exactly work to be quite that fancy. So
Okay. We'll workshop it. We'll get there. But until then,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
until then, we got to get the heck out of here. Ooh, here we go. Hold on. Wait, pause. Not you, me, of shutting down the stream. I need to see where this is about to go. He's drawing me. Hang on. He's drawing me as a guy from Among Us.
It feels more like Tux.
it is Tux.
Oh.
I'm just bad at this.
No, you did the beak or whatever, and I was like, that's the Among Us face mask.
I was trying
Well,
to
I
draw
mean-
person Linux user space, but the tablet is falling off the table.
Oh no. We almost had perfection.
Yeah, so Linux user
Gravity.
Tux guy.
Yeah.
That could work, maybe.
Hey, yeah, I was
You
trying
might
to
be
think
onto
about that.
something there.
I was thinking about that the other day, right? Like, if we had a logo, like an animal or it doesn't even have to be an animal. Like, and I don't want it to be a penguin because that's cliche at this point. But like,
Feels like it.
what would it be? I guess it could
Oh.
be a penguin if
What's our spirit animal, basically?
yeah, like I just couldn't
Probably a
come up with
squirrel.
anything.
No,
There it is.
knowing you and I, Leo, it's probably a squirrel.
Oh God, that's true, isn't it? I
Yeah,
think
kinda.
we just did that for 2 straight hours till Neal got here, and then he saved us with language,
Yeah.
and then we stayed on
Yeah,
topic
he
pretty
saved
well.
us. We stayed on topic. We didn't. I don't know what topic we stayed on, but we stayed on.
Android
Oh, right.
and language and drawing.
Oh, yeah. So
and
we need to
cursive.
go back to that. So we
And
talked
print.
about Gemini, right?
Yeah.
I did post the blog article
Chat Gemini.
actually
Uh-huh.
in user space in Discord. But basically, Neal was right. The name was chosen because of when it was released.
Yeah.
Originally, it was Titan.
Have a good one,
And
Which
Matt.
makes sense.
Yeah, it was named after the largest moon, Saturn's largest moon.
That's
Well,
cool.
Titans is a secondary reference, right? The Titans in Greek mythology were the proto entities that made up the gods.
Right.
Yeah, there were the two
So-
brightest stars.
Yeah.
I play World of Warcraft. I know what you're talking about. Yeah. The Titans.
So, but they didn't like that name, so they changed it to Gemini.
Yeah, well, it doesn't. It's too aggro.
I guess so. Yeah,
The
No,
guy-
it seems a little too.
The guy with the third eye?
What? The Titans only had one eye. Well, no, the Cyclops only had one eye.
Mm.
Some of the Titans had more than one eye.
So yeah, almost got
So anyway,
Sagittarius.
yeah, read that blog article. It was pretty good stuff.
Blotter? I thought I was like, oh no,
Yeah,
Gemini's
blotter.
in jail now. Oh
no.
no.
I'm slurring my words here. Sorry, I'm not.
Wait
even
a
drunk,
minute.
but yeah.
You're telling me that Google actually saw some consequences? They showed up in the blotter? I don't think so.
Blog article.
Blog article. Got it. Okay.
I blended those words together.
Okay. Last thing. That phone looks like the same beige as your computer turned after about 5 to 8 years of you having it in 1995. That's the
Sure
beige
does.
that it turned to.
Well, that's a good thing.
I mean, nostalgic, yes. Good? Nah.
It means nobody will try to steal it.
There you actually, okay. All
They
right,
won't.
you fixed
you'll be
it.
good
You're
there.
right. That is absolutely correct. All right, so 7A, I'll see if I can get one without a scratched screen. And then if somehow Android is able to convince me, I might come back. But
I think you should consider a Samsung.
like an old Samsung?
No, a current one.
Oh, well, right, but not as a daily driver yet. I'm just using it to run a couple of apps that I don't want on my main daily driver phone. Have you seen the Instagram requirements? They are gross. So I want to run it on this other phone for now. But also,
Actually, if you're primarily using it for Instagram social media, Pixel becomes a good choice because there's a specific Instagram integration in the camera application,
Interesting.
as well as in the gallery application, as well as Instagram back into the gallery and stuff.
Interesting.
So,
okay. You're selling
I
me.
only found out about this after I bought my phone, and I still don't care about it. I didn't care about it then, and I don't care about it now, but you might care about it.
Yeah, not really, but only because like we have an account, so I guess I'll post stuff there. But I don't do it now because it's just such a pain to deal with because I don't have it on my actual phone because I refuse to install it on my phone. You do not need to know my heart rate, sir. Please. Anyway, yeah. So if I were to get a Samsung phone at about this vintage, what's that? 3-4 years ago, Dan?
Yeah.
Ish, yeah.
That puts you at the S21,
S21.
S22.
All right.
Yeah.
S22 series.
I'll start
But
with
I will
S22
say,
and work my way back.
I will say though that the newest phones that Samsung's been putting out, have 7 years of features and security updates.
Here we go.
So,
a little cheaper too. Okay. Yeah,
also,
and I
they
think
made
so.
far less compromises on the smaller phones for the 24 series than they did in the earlier series.
Oh, that's good.
So like if you get the base model S24, pretty much the only thing you're seriously missing is the pen. And if you don't use the pen, if you weren't planning on using the pen ever, that's fine.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So these will be on my list. I'll see if I can pro and con them and then figure it out. Yeah. I mean, the pro on the Galaxy S22 is that it's $30 cheaper.
Yeah.
But I don't think $30 is gonna be what I base my decision off of. So we'll see.
No, but for goofing around, it's a little cheaper. It's nice.
Exactly. But all right, until I make a decision, until we come back in a couple of weeks, we'll see you soon. There'll be another episode in between, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah, thanks everybody.
Bye.